So we're about ready to play balls. The first man steps into the box, Cam Pierce, and the
umpire calls timeout right to start with. Let's see what he's doing.
Plate off to start with.
First base umpire calls timeout. Let's see what he's doing. He's going over to the sideline.
And so forth, I believe.
Can't tell. Looks like he's on the other.
Looks as though that Pleasant Grove will be playing left field, center field, and right field straight away. The infield up close on third. The first pitch is a ball.
Cam Pierce, our shortstop, batting in a little curveball is high and stayed a little bit higher.
As I said, the third baseman is almost on the grass.
Fastball, high and outside. All right, buddy, so far we've seen a curveball and a fastball, and I was wondering about his fastball, but it looked like he had some pretty good stuff on that one. Richie Robertson on the mound.
Found the strike zone that time.
Well, right around the knees, outside corner for a strike.
2 balls, 1 strike. Robinson going against Cam Pierce, leadoff batter for the Bobcats in the state championship. And that's a sharp hit to left field. Bobbled momentarily by Shivers. That puts Pierce on. Let's go ahead and apologize to Scott. We're going to mess his name up all day because in Opp, Alabama, it's Shivers, and we might as well go ahead and call him a Shiver because we're going to say that time and time again.
We talked about it before we got on the air here. It's Shivers, and we know we're going to mess up a lot of it, but we can't help it. But anyway, what's important is Cam Pierce just laced a line shot to left field, so the Bobcats has a man on first base, and Brent Hall, the second baseman, up to bat.
In the scouting report, as first pitch is a ball, Coach Grimes saw the weakest player on the team was the catcher. So if we had an opportunity to run on him, I promise you we will try it. As Coach Grimes will try to get anything he can of what he's got. And the first time up, Cam Pierce comes up with a sharp base hit to left field and now has a pretty good lead. That's a bunt. And he's going to second. He's overthrown, but he got him.
That time the bunt, we're back to the pitcher. Pitcher picks it up, throws to second base. Yes, sir, runner out. So we had a fielder's choice from Brent Hall.
Atchison did a good job at second to come down with that ball. As Robinson threw it high, Atchison went up into the air and came down with it on the base in time to have the force out on Cam Pierce. A fraction of a second later, we'd had 2 men on and the ball had been out in the center field. Brings up the third batter for the Bobcats.
Chris Gohagan, right fielder.
Swings away and a foul. Back over the first base dugout.
Bobcats now with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. A runner on first base, Brent Hall. Batter, Chris Gohagan. All right, pitcher on the mound, Robinson ready. He throws to first base. And the umpire says safe on first base as Brent Hall dives back in, and he is safe. Good quick play overthrow to first base. And as you hear, the Pleasant Grove people are really kind of upset about that call, buddy. Close call.
Well, I'd have to say they have reason to do that. It was a very close call, judgment call by the umpire, and a good move back to first again.
They're trying to pick him off, and Brent that time was a little bit closer to the base than he was before. Well, just a close call, wasn't it?
He takes 3 steps off, now 4. And here he goes again. He's dead this time. He had Hall going to second base. He had him up 2 feet.
This time that I believe that we were going, had us caught that time, leaned towards second base, and we were definitely going to be running that time. So now then the Bobcats here in the top of the first inning have nobody on, and Chris Gohagan at bat.
Robinson showing his strength not only in pitching but also his ability to move to first base.
All right, Robinson on the mound. He's ready now. He winds in the pitch. Curveball, low and outside. I lost count of the count, but I believe it's 1-1. Next pitch, fastball, high and outside, ball 2.
Randy, I'm not sure what speed he may be throwing. That time he tried to throw the heat, and he threw it somewhere probably in 85 range.
He brought that one that time. And he's ready again. Cohagen hits up the middle. Shortstop's up with the ball. Leads over to first, and he's out. So at the end of the first inning, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors by Pleasant Grove. And we'll be back right after this message. All right, now the defensive lineup for the Bobcats. On first base, D. Jones. Second base, Brent Hall. Shortstop, Cam Pierce. Third base, Josh Kaiser. And in outfield and left field, Eric Cox. Center field, Neil Presley. Right field, Chris Cohagen. And then behind the plate will be Judd Chanel. And on the mound, Ashley Davis. So that's the defensive alignment for the out Bobcats. We get a little tangled up these cords around here.
And Randy, as we look at the beginning defense for the Bobcats, we have juniors on the corner at third and first and behind the plate. The rest of the field is seniors.
Bobcats definitely has a senior team this year. Going to be losing a lot of mighty good baseball players, and they've been through a lot of big wins here for the out Bobcats. And we're at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and like we said, Mr. Buddy Pine said coming in here, we had instructions how to get here, and we had no problem at all coming in.
Excuse me, what we did, Randy, we went by Tanny Hill State Park.
That was Mike Russell. We want to go by. He thought we might stay there tonight, but
no, I don't think so, Randy.
All right, here we go. Ashley Davis for the first pitch. It is a strike in there to Scott Shivers. And Scott Shivers is a left fielder for Pleasant Grove. That was a fastball. Ashley Davis with a 12-1 record on the year. He's ready. He comes with the next pitch. Curveball. It broke inside for a ball. And where we at, buddy? It looked mighty good, didn't it?
Sure did. I thought that was closer to being a strike. The first ball that was a strike looked low. That one looked like it curved right in there.
But you know where we at, it's going to be hard to see. Another curveball by Ashley Davis, this time a little low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ashley Davis on the mound, batting for Pleasant Grove, Scott Shivers, their left fielder. Next pitch, fastball. Back to Ashley Davis, takes his time, throws to first base, 1-3 for the first out here in the first inning for the Bobcats.
It's all important to get that first out, too. It makes you kind of take the jitters away a little bit as far as a pitcher. And now let's see Ashley go to work here on the second batter, Brian Atchison, the second baseman.
Second baseman, Ashley's ready. He's taking his signal, shakes off the first one, shakes off the second one, and now he says, I'm ready to go. Curveball in there for a strike. But did you ever get nervous whenever you was playing?
Yes.
You did? I never noticed you'd be nervous about anything.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll go along with that one. All right, second pitch to Brian Atkinson, second baseman for Pleasant Grove. Fastball, strike 2. No ball and 2 strikes. As you hear the Bobcat fans, I can hear the cans and all hollering, buddy.
Randy, it's all important to get ahead on the batters, and Ashley's been able to do that on the first 2 batters.
Next pitch, we broke. And it's CFL asks. We do not ask. They do not say. Okay. It's 2 balls, 1 strike to Atchison, second baseman for Pleasant Grove.
Actually, that looked like a bad pitch, but it's a very good pitch. And the fact that you have 2 strikes on the batter, you break it down in front of the plate, make him go after it. He almost did it.
Ashley Davis with the next pitch. Into the dirt again. Ashley Davis on the mound. Judd Chanel behind the plate for the out Bobcats. 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. 2-2 on the batter. Ball hit in the hole. Brent Hall goes over for it. Cannot come up with it. It's a base hit into right field. Chris Cohagen comes up with the ball, brings it back in, and Atchison has the first hit for Pleasant Grove.
Sharply hit off the right side, and it was hard for Brent Hall to get to. He made a diving stab for it, but was unable to come up with it. I'm not sure he'd been able to throw him out if he had stopped the ball.
All right, now then the right fielder for Pleasant Grove, Shane Carnes. Pleasant Grove with a runner on first base, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. The runner, Brian Atchison, has a big lead at first base, and I believe we may get a chuck over here, and we do. we'll find out early where that Pleasant Grove will decide to run or not. This year so far, Judge Chanel has had a good arm and a good pickoff ratio. Beautiful afternoon here in Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Curveball, high for a ball.
Randy, I'm not sure if he's going to run or not, but he certainly has a large lead. He takes 5 steps out before he bends down in looking at the pitcher. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now he takes another one. He's 5 steps away.
Next pitch, ball outside. So that's 2 balls, no strikes. As this time Carnes has got a hit on Ashley Davis.
I would suspect Atchison needs to respect the arm of Judge Chanel and throw him back to first as well as to second. As I just said that, he is safe.
Good play there. Judge Chanel fired to first base and almost had Atchison leading off too much at first base, but he was saved. So now then we got a 3-0 count. 3 balls and no strikes to Shane Carnes, the right fielder for Pleasant Grove.
If nothing else, he has now got to respect the fact that he will throw to first.
And he made a good throw, too. Next pitch right down there, fastball by Ashley Davis, and makes it 3 balls, 1 strike.
And 1 out.
1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Up Bobcats against the Pleasant Grove Spartans. Ashley Davis on the mound. The next pitch, ball high, and that's the walk. Now then, Pleasant Grove got the Bobcats in a little bit of hole here in the first inning with a runner on first and second and 1 out.
And their big gun comes to the plate, big in the fact that he also hits home runs. Andy Elrod, center fielder. Cleanup batter, as they call him. Bats number 4.
All right, they've been known to hit that ball out of this ballpark, so we've got to be careful pitching to this. This one, Elrod and Robertson, the next one, both of them are good home run hitters. So the Bobcats in a little bit of hole. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Ashley Davis on the mound. The pitch, and definitely he's swinging, and the runner almost went. And here we got a run down now. Got runners on first and second. Judge Chanel run towards the runner, and we throw it away.
Judd bears his head down. He threw the ball high to Josh Kaiser at third, and Carnes was able, Atchison was able to make a diving slide to third safely because the ball was thrown high. Actually, Judd held the ball just a moment. He did exactly what he should do. He ran out there. The 2 runners ran together at second, and then Atchison realized he had to move up in that fact, and what happened out of it was nothing but a good thing happened for Pleasant Grove, and the fact to have runners on third and second now with 1 out. Elrod at bat.
All right, what would happen now? We got timeout on the field, and Coach Grimes has put on the batter, so we're going to walk Elrod to load the bases, and that brings up the big one. That brings up Ricky Robinson. So we got runners on first, second, third, and let's go over a little bit what happened now. On that one, ball was dropped behind the plate. Atchison tried to go third, but he changed his mind, but then Carnes had already gone on second, so they had 2 on second. Chanel runs towards him, and we made a good play all around, but like we said, just one little, I guess Pleasant Grove came out better on that deal.
All right, Coach Grimes plays it defensively back. He's going for 2 rather than for playing the play at home plate. He's going for 2 to see if he can get a double play and get us out of the inning.
Bobcats have turned many double plays this year, so we've got a chance to turn 2, and there that cut is. As Robinson, I tell you one thing, he's got a cut at it, and he took his cut that time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bobcats in a hole here in the first inning. Runners on first, second, and third, and Robertson at bat, and he can hit it.
His mission is to hit the ball hard, Randy, because if it gets it in the outfield, they score a run.
Curveball that time, strike 2. And so far tonight, it looks like, Buddy, that the umpire behind the plate is going to be a low strike caller.
Most definitely a low strike caller. That one was almost right behind the plate.
So Ashley Davis on the mound. Next pitch, another curve. He got him. All right. A big strikeout there. Big strikeout by Ashley Davis on Robinson.
Tremendous out by Davis. That's a big strikeout on Robinson. It certainly has to affect him mentally.
All right, that is 2 out now for the out Bobcats. Ashley Davis on the mound. and Judd Chanel behind the plate, and we have the bases loaded here in the bottom half of the first inning for Pleasant Grove Spartan. And Ashley Davis takes his stretch. He's ready, and it's a pop-up foul ball. Almost got excited about that one down his first base line. It looked like it could have been a pop-up on the infield, but nope, it was popped up back behind home plate and over the fence. Ashley Davis on the mound, batting for Pleasant Grove, Brandon Whiten. Whiten's a shortstop. Good crowd here around the outfield fence. Pleasant Grove, Bobcats, Pleasant Grove, Spartan. Bobcats in a little bit of a hole here in the bottom half of the first inning. There's 2 out, bases loaded, and a foul ball. Ashley Davis is ahead of the count now. No balls and 2 strikes.
This is where you'd want to waste one, but with a man on third base, you can't do that as we did with no one on, in the fact you want to throw it on the plate.
Fastball would mean a run, or could mean a run, that is, but one good thing about it, the fence here is pretty close to home plate. Ball hit down third base line, foul ball, and umpire hustles over and gets it. So the Bobcats still got no balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the first inning, 2 out, bases loaded for Pleasant Grove. Batter, Brandon Whiten, shortstop.
You know, Pleasant Grove defeated Hayden last week 13-0 and 10-0 in 5 innings both games, and certainly they have the bats. Obviously the pitching as well.
Ashley Davis ready. He fired fastball. Ashley had something on that pitch that time. Fastball high and inside, and Whiten said, nope, I won't go for that one. We'll wait for the next one. So with the bases loaded here, the bottom of the first inning, Bobcats in a little bit of trouble. 1 out from getting out of it, though. Next pitch on its way. Curveball outside. So now then that evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. The Bobcats against Pleasant Grove Spartans. Beautiful afternoon for baseball. Ashley Davis ready. He fires down. Oh, my goodness gracious. From over here at the first baseline, we already jumped up and hollered because we definitely thought it was a strike. The umpire looks down towards the hot dugout, but sports fans, from this angle, I already jumped up at the fence because I thought she was right down the middle, but we can't tell from here. Ashley Davis ready. He fires strike to 3.
Outstanding pitching by Ashley Davis, and coming up, striking out the last 2 batters once bases was loaded. That's got to motivate the Bobcats.
All right, that end then. Pleasant Grove, 1 hit. Well, let's make that no runs, 1 hit. And I guess we got to have 1 Bobcat error on that. And so after the 1 complete inning of play, it's the Bobcats 0 and the Spartans from Pleasant Grove 0. Let's take a quick break. All right, we're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama with the Bobcats and Pleasant Grove Spartan, and we're ready to play ball in the bat. Neil Presley, center fielder. First pitch, Robinson, it's low for a ball. That was a fastball, but he brought that one pretty good.
I think his best pitch is his fastball, it looks like.
Next pitch, the fastball right down there for a strike. I tell you now, those 2 right there, he kindly told me he can throw a fastball.
I think he got irritated when he struck out.
I do too, because he's brought those 2. Right down the line, shot to left field by Neil Presley. It's in there for a base hit. Neil makes his turn at first. Left fielder up with it, and he brings it back in. And Buddy Pine, Neil Presley laced that one, didn't he?
That looked almost just like Cam Pierce's first hit to left field. A sharp line shot. No one can field it. And then it was bobbled by the left fielder momentarily, but he held up at first base. Let's see his move on Neil. I don't think Neil would play quite as far off on his lead off of first as Brent tried initially.
All right, let's see now then. Last time the Bobcats tried to sacrifice and move the runner down. Let's see if we do that again. Judd Chanel, the catcher for the Bobcats, is at the plate. This time, the Bobcats swinging away, and that time the pitcher definitely, but did you notice that time that I think Judd was sitting back on a fastball, and the pitcher, Robinson, he took something off of it, and a good pitch by Robinson.
He held it deep in his palm of his hand, and it was a somewhat of a change-up in the fact that it was a floater coming up there, and he was off timing for Judd.
And another curveball by Robinson, and Judd Chenell swinging again for no ball and 2 strikes. That's some good pitching that time by Robinson, but he coming out with fastballs to the first batter completely, and now then he threw 1 fastball and then breaking them off again.
Now watch this fastball and see if he doesn't come back and see if he misses timing up again.
Another curve. Judd Chenell goes down swinging for first out here in the top half of the second inning.
Scouting report on Judd Chenell must have been curveballs was not his best pitch, because he certainly fooled him and had him off timing, and he looked like a tremendous pitcher that time, Randy.
He sure did. That brings a left fielder for the Bobcats, number 23, Eric Cox, to the plate. Back over to first base, Neil Presley gets back, and Neil's not taking the lead that we had earlier. Neil was getting back early or easily on that one. Neil Presley on first base, 1 out here in the second inning for the Bobcats. Neil Presley's on his way. He's gone. It was a hit and run. Throw down to second base, and Neil Presley's in there for a stolen base. And Eric Cox was swinging at the pitch. We say hit and run. We don't know where it was hit and run or not, but Neil Presley was running all the way, and Eric Cox was swinging.
He was protecting the runner for sure, Randy, but the thing is, Neil got an outstanding jump on the pitcher, and if he hadn't not, he would have been out. It was a close play at second. Good throw by the catcher. Good peg. And Neil just got a good jump and put every effort into it to make it there, and he was there safely.
Tell you what, buddy, Dustin Black did a good job throwing that ball down that time. As you said, Neil Presley had a good lead. This time, curveball outside for a strike on Eric Cox. That got the outside corner. And so that makes 1 ball or no ball and 2 strikes, I believe that is. No balls, 2 strikes. Robinson on the mound. The next pitch, Cox. And is a ball outside. Good pitch that time again, buddy, on a curveball.
Eric really almost went for that one. It was outside. He lunged for it, but held up enough that they did not call a strike. This pitcher's impressing me more and more as I see him.
The next pitch, and as you see, Eric Cox way out in front again. As you said, buddy, now this is showing you what he is a pitcher, because he comes in there with his fastball, and he's completely got us, I think the ball players are now sitting up there to swing at his fastball, and he throws the fastball 2 or 3 times, and then he comes back with those curveballs, and he really got us confused right now.
Well, Randy, he knows his pitches. I mean, he knows what he can do with the baseball, I'm pretty sure, and now he's set it up so that he can throw it anytime he wants to. And he's not only a pitcher, he's a smart pitcher in the fact he throws different things at different times.
Josh Kaiser at the plate. There comes the fastball again now. This time, that's first fastball he's thrown in 2 or 3 pitches now, but it was a fastball to Josh Kaiser, the third baseman. Robinson on the mound. Josh Kaiser takes a good cut at it. Another good curveball across the plate and then outside a little bit. And Robinson doing a good job here in the second inning at Pleasant Grove. The Bobcats gets Pleasant Grove Spartans. Ball hit the swing short and third. Pitcher runs over, picks it up, throws the first base. And that ends the second inning.
First, too, about as hard as he throws the fastball to home plate, Randy.
That's right. So at end of 1.5, it's for the Bobcats this inning. No runs, 1 hit, no Pleasant Grove errors. So that's the end of 1.5, and we'll be right back after this bit. We're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and bringing up this inning will be Dustin Black, David Landrum, and Ken Fortsum for Pleasant Grove. The first 3 batter here in the bottom half of the second inning.
Randy, in talking with Mr. Sanders, the principal at Pleasant Grove, he tells me that they play a lot of 6A schools up around this area, and Vestavia Hills as well. Vestavia Hills is playing in the state championship today, and I asked him, well, how was your series with them? He said, we won 1 and we lost 1.
I tell you one thing, buddy, you can't say enough for the people up here. They have been so nice and generous and helping you any way they can. This is a class organization, isn't it? So far.
Very much so, Randy. And certainly if we go home with the state championship, it'll be even much more class.
Well, that sure will. All right, first batter now for Pleasant Grove, Dustin Black, the catcher. And that last inning, he had 1 person still on him, but I tell you what, he's got a good arm, and Neil Presley had a good jump is the reason he got second base. Ashley Davis on the mound, and the first pitch is a foul ball down the third base line for strike 1.
Thinking of reminiscent of last week, about this time, it was sultry hot in Opp, Alabama, about 91 degrees, and here we are about 75, and it's a lovely afternoon.
It sure is a beautiful afternoon here at Pleasant Grove. Ashley Davis on the mound, Judd Chenell behind the plate. Davis stretches, brings a pitch. make that low end dirt. Let's make that wind up instead of stretching here. He's going ahead through his wind up. I know Dwight Diller will be sitting over there getting on to me about it, saying he should be winding up, and that's exactly what he was doing, Dwight, winding up.
Give you a message, Randy.
Well, we'll get that.
Dwight said he was.
Foul ball down the third base line.
Dwight said he'd have your grass cut when he got back.
You know, that's one thing about a good neighbor I got there, Mike Russell. Dwight Dillard, he'll be over cutting my yard. Won't be back in Sunday night, Dwight. I appreciate you doing a little bit of edging, too, for me, if you will, and hedging and all that stuff around the house. Appreciate that, Dwight Dillard. All right, Buddy Fire, we got Ashley Davis on the mound. No balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom half of the second inning. Ashley Davis checks off 2 pitches, and batter said, wait a minute now, let me check off a call there, and he steps out and waiting for the next pitch. This sun's coming on down now, and I tell you what, I believe it's getting a little bit warmer. Ashley Davis now ready, and he winds, and it's in the dirt. And Buddy Fire, is that 2-2 or 1-2?
It's 1-2, and looking defensively, the Bobcats are playing in left field, approximately 290 feet from home plate, but in right field we're up about 270. So that was close to a strike there, but he called it a ball.
That time, Buddy Fire, the pitch was down there again, as we were saying earlier. It was the low ball a little bit, looked like a ball, but you know sometimes they've been getting strikes out of it. But it was just a little bit low, and now the scoreboard says it's a full count, 3-2. Let's see. Ashley Davis winds, he throws, and it's a ball 4 for a walk. So Dustin Black, the first batter here in the second inning, walks. So we got a runner on first with nobody out.
That's Ashley's second walk, and of course they're going to bring in a pinch runner for the catcher, and running will be Adam Graham. So he'll be taking this lead off first. But that's Ashley's second walk here in the second inning with no outs.
All right, that brings us back David Landrum, the first baseman for Pleasant Grove. Nobody out here in the second inning. A big lead over first base. And they square in the butt. Throw to first base. It's close, but he's back. Good play there by Judd Chanel, and Judd's whipping that ball around, and a good throw down. It looks like that Pleasant Grove trying to sacrifice people around. Landrum missed that one.
Okay, we have a shift in the outfield, Randy. We had a left-handed batter, and Neil Presley have shifted to the right side, so a power alley more or less, and deeper in right field than otherwise.
Ashley Davis brings it. Bunts this time down the third base line. Josh Kaiser's up with it over the first, and the Bobcats cannot hold on to it at first base, so we have a error on the first baseman there. And so that puts runners on first and second with nobody out.
Perfect throw. It was right in the timing as they came up and made the throw. Josh Kaiser made it to first base. And D. Jones, the runner, was coming to him at the same time the ball got there, and it was just seeing the white of the runner, as they are white and purple, with white uniforms with purple sleeves, and the ball coming, and it just touched off the glove and fell out of the first baseman's glove. So an error on first base.
So now then, Bobcats in a little bit of trouble again here in the bottom of the second inning. Runner on first and second, nobody out. That brings up Ken Fortin, the designated hitter. Ashley Davis ready, takes a stretch. First pitch in the plate, ball inside. And it does not look like they'll be sacrificing this time, buddy.
Well, with no outs, the normal call is to bunt and move the runners up to third. But this guy can hit. He is a DH, so he may not want to sacrifice that with a DH.
Ashley Davis fires. This time he gets by the catcher. And the runners move up one base, so we got runners now on second and third. Nobody out. Bobcats in a lot of trouble here in the bottom half of the second inning. That was a fastball that just got away from us.
Now, Randy, what has got us here, defense as such, throughout the playoffs, it seemed to be hampering somewhat right now because we had an error, and then, of course, the pass ball by the catcher, and so that's 2 back-to-back, and they move up on the bases.
Ashley Davis on the mound. The next pitch is a pop-up to the infield, and who's calling it? D. Jones called it first base, and he's out of there. Pop up to first baseman, 1 out.
Very fortunate for the Bobcats there. They got him to pop up so that on the infield so the runners could not advance. He was trying to hit something in the outfield to the right side, just did not get enough bat on it.
All right, the Bobcats that time come up with a big play. And the pop-up on the infield gets the first out here in the bottom half of the second inning. But what happens now, we bring up the top half of the lineup. Scott Shivers, left fielder for Pleasant Grove. It's a fly ball center field. Neil Presley's up under it. See if he brings it home. He lost it in the sun. Neil Presley could not find it in the sun. It'll fall into the base hit. And here goes one run in. And they hold them up.
Neil is upset with himself. Something he couldn't help at that point. He just looked directly in the sun. The ball came and was balanced in the sun. And all of a sudden, he thought he was there, and he just ducked under it.
I tell you what, buddy, that's a tough break there because Neil Presley just a little pop up to center field, and Neil Presley playing it perfect, comes up, gets right up under it, and if we're looking back now, I can see it. You look up here at the sun, and that is a bright, bright sun there, and Neil Presley definitely could not find the ball at all, and so it was just going to be a routine play. We thought we would have a shot at home plate, but then when the sun gets into you like that, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So the Bobcats still in trouble with runners on second and third and one out. And the batter now, Atchison for Pleasant Grove. Bobcats play the infield in now to make a play at home plate. Curveball by Ashley Davis in there for a strike. But that's just the breaks of baseball there. It wasn't a matter of misjudging, misplaying, or anything. And right now, look up there, the sun is going up under a cloud, and we couldn't have that break a while ago.
Well, the left field and center fielder may have to wear shades before they go back out in the field, Randy. And I think Gohagen already has shades on.
That was a curveball that time by Ashley Davis in the dirt. Judge Chanel making a good play, stopping that one that time. And like you said, the sun is tough, and really and truly, the outfielder is looking directly into the sun now, directly in the sun, and you have a hard time seeing it. Curveball, high. Ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike here in the second inning at Pleasant Grove.
And the question is, what does that do for Ashley? As he had to work himself 2 strikeouts the last inning to get him out with bases loaded with no runs, and now we have 2 errors, pass ball, and they scored 1 run with the runners on second and third, and the count now is 3-1.
3 balls, 1 strike to Brian Atchison. And next pitch in there for a strike. Full count. 3-2 on Atchison. Ashley Davis on the mound. Runners on second, third. 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. And Pleasant Grove's up 1-0. The next pitch, and there's a ball hit to right field. Chris Gohagen's in. He's got it. He fires towards home, and no play, and good play there by
Chris Gohagen. Great play. I thought it was going to fall short. He kept running for it and caught it waist high. And the first thing he did was he kept running and made a direct throw to D. Jones, who was the cutoff man. Third baseman just stayed there, the man on third rather. He did not attempt a run to the plate. And so that gives us 2 outs and a hope to hold it here with 1 run. The next batter, he's a good one, Shane Carnes.
Shane Carnes, last time he walked. And last time, Brian Atkinson, who flied out right field that time, he also made a base hit to right field a while ago. So he definitely hits to right field. So far he has today. So Carnes at bat, walked last time, first pitch to him, curveball by Ashley Davis inside.
Remember last time Coach just put him on. No, that was Elrod. He went ahead and put Elrod on that. They both bat left-handed. Matter of fact, there's 3 left-handers on this Pleasant Grove Spartan team.
There's a strike, fastball, inside corner by Ashley Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in this bottom half of the second inning. Bobcats not getting the best of this inning here, although Pleasant Grove only has 1 hit, but they have 1 run in, runners on second and third. All right, ball inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Ashley Davis on the mound. Carnes batting, right fielder for Pleasant Grove.
We need a routine fly ball.
Ashley Davis throws the next one in the dirt. Fastball, 3 balls, 1 strike. A little bit of trouble here. Ashley having to pitch a lot of pitches here in the second inning.
I said routine. I'm not sure anything's routine anymore. Possibly We need an easy fly ball. Let's put it like that.
3 balls, 1 strike. And half for a ball, so that's another walk. 3rd walk, but one of them was intentional, though. And so now we got the bases loaded here, and Andy Elrod. This is the one we put on last time on purpose. So let's see what he can do, Buddy Pye.
Well, he's got bases loaded, and the last inning we had bases loaded. This keeps haunting you, and it's kind of scary that we keep loading the bases.
Ball, curveball inside, and definitely you'll have to be careful with this batter because he definitely is a good stick. In batting practice today, I was watching him. He's hitting around the fence all day long. Ball hit a second baseman. Brent Hall up with it. He's over to first, and he's out of there. 4-3, Brent Hall. So that's the end of the second inning, and now then it's the Bobcats. That time Pleasant Grove had 1 run on 1 hit, and Bobcats had 1 error. So at the end of 2 innings, it's the Bobcats trailing Pleasant Grove 1-0. We'll be right back. We're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Pleasant Grove Spartans against the Up High Bobcats, and Pleasant Grove leads the Bobcats 1-0. And we go into the top half of the 3rd inning. Ashley Davis coming to bat for the first time. Ashley Davis, the pitcher for the Up Bobcats. So far, Pleasant Grove has 2 hits. Let's see. I believe Pleasant Grove has 2 hits, and the Bobcats have 2 hits. First pitch by Robinson. She's a curveball and high. Ball 1. Ashley Davis, pitcher for Up, at bat. Robinson so far tonight been in control of this ball game. Fastball in the dirt. Ball 1. 2 balls, no strikes. Here in the 3rd inning. Robinson ready. He takes his wind-up and a pitch. Foul ball by Ashley Davis. Foul straight back over the press box. 2 balls, 1 strike. First bat for Ashley tonight. He'll be followed by D. Jones and then Cam Pierce. Robson's ready. He winds and a pitch. Ball low and outside.
Randy,
3 balls, 1 strike.
I see that the Robinson has 2 Ks, and I also think that the opposing batter right now has 2 Ks, so they're tied up 2-2 as far as strikeouts.
Ashley Davis fires left field. Left fielder comes over. He's looking at it. It's going towards the fence. And it's out of there. So Ashley Davis flies out to left field for the first out here in the 3rd inning.
And worse than an out is that he would have been on first base. That ball was high when he swung at it. It would have been ball 4, Randy.
All right, bringing the bat now, D. Jones, the first baseman for the Out Bobcats. This is the first bat of the night for D. 1 out here in the 3rd inning. D. Jones at bat. Robinson's ready. He winds and the pitch. Ball low in the dirt. Gets by the catcher. Back to the fence. 1 ball. No strike. D. Jones at bat. Bobcats trailing 1-0. 3rd inning. Robson ready. He fires fastball right down in there for a strike. Tell you one thing, he's got good motion too, but he rears back, use all the motion.
He threw that one faster than 85.
Robson ready. And there's that breaking curveball inside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tell you one thing, he changes them up well on you. Robson's ready. The wind and the pitch. Fastball popped up on the infield. Pitcher calls for it. D. Jones coming to first. Pitcher takes the pop-up. Robinson. So Jones pops up to the pitcher for the 2nd out. And that'll bring the bat shortstop, Cam Pierce. And Cam, in the 1st inning, lays one to left field for a base hit.
All right, 2 batters, 2 outs, and both of them pop flies. We got to hit the ball sharply in order to get base hits here against this pitcher, Robinson.
All right, Robinson ready in the pitch. Oh, hit him in the head, but it's all right. helmet, just a little curveball, and Kim did not even flinch. He took off running to first base, did not even feel that. Normally you say you hit the head, you'd worry about it, but no, the umpire goes over to check with him. I think they have to, but that didn't even phase Kim. I guarantee you, the umpire over, they had to check it out, and he went over there to check with him, and that's the new rules. You got to check with everybody.
You know what,
and
the
Kim
umpire
says,
asked him,
what he asked him?
what was his birth date? And the umpire doesn't know.
All right. So Kim Pierce on first base, and don't worry about it backing off. He was hitting the head, but hey, it wasn't with a fastball. It was just a slow curveball, and everything's fine. Kim's on first base now. First pitch to Brent Hall, in there for a strike. Last time up, Brent got on the fielder's choice. He was trying to sacrifice the runner down at second base, but he's back to the pitcher. Pitcher turned and threw out Kim at second base. Robinson's ready. He takes a stretch, and he goes.
Swinging.
Kim still at second base. He's in there. Safe. Kim gets up. He's going to try for third as he gets away from the second baseman. And a Bobcat has a runner on third base now. And Kim Pierce off with a pitch. He's still second base. Second baseman missed the ball, went into center field, and Kim got up immediately, took off the third, and started staggering, getting a third, buddy.
Well, Randy, Cam really did not get a good jump. He was slow to start on his move to second, but the throw, as we indicated earlier, might be somewhat evident of the weakest part of this team. The catcher threw high. The second baseman could not come down with it. It squirreled out into center field somewhat, but far enough for Cam to go to. He didn't even hesitate. He got up and started running.
Cam was alert and ready to go. All right, now Brent Hall got the opportunity to get Cam in. There's two out. Brent Hall at bat. Next pitch. Breaking curveball outside. And
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Brent Hall, and he's in a little bit of hole here, and he needs to pick it up and get him in. Pitcher's ready. The pitch. And strikeout.
Well, we got him to third anyway.
All right, Brent Hall goes down to strikeout. That time, the Bobcats got no runs, no hits, and 1 error by Pleasant Grove. We'll be back right after this word. Pleasant Grove, Alabama. State final in baseball. Bobcats trail Pleasant Grove 1-0 here in the bottom half of the third inning. On the mound for the Bobcats, Ashley Davis, and behind the plate, Judd Chanel.
Well, Randy, we notice as Neil Presti goes back out into center field, he now has shades on, and he takes a look at the sun to see, well, what evidence will this do to help me? And he still feels bad about that last one because that run did score. And, of course, the run might have scored anyway because he's pretty deep out there in center field, about 360 feet away. It would have been a tremendous throw to hold him from third base.
All right, Ashley Davis is ready, and Robinson is the batter. And the first pitch fouled down third base line for strike 1. Robinson the pitcher. The last time Robinson was called out on third strike, and I think he said, wait a minute now, I'm not going to be sitting here taking again. So he swings at the first pitch, and he fouled it down the third base line. Mike Russell, you've been mighty quiet up there today. Got old Mike Russell. He's getting back. He's got the camera work. This is something new for us. First time we've been live on audio and not with the TV part of it. But we're doing our best up here at Pleasant Grove. Ashley Davis on the mound. And the next pitch. Foul ball down the third base line again by Robinson.
Randy, he's taking a tremendous cut. He's just not hitting the balls solidly and as he would like to. And our defense is backed up on the left side especially. They're playing deep. Left field, shortstop, and the third base is back deep as well.
All right, Ashley Davis is ready again. He checks off the first pitch or two. Now he's ready. He takes his wind, and here it comes. In ball inside. Another close pitch there. Tell you one thing, being down the first base line like Buddy now, I tell you, well, you think a lot of pitches down there, but naturally you can't see it from back over here. Can't tell where it's on the inside, outside, or where it is. You just tell a little bit about being high and low. And Ashley's ready now, and here's the pitch. Curveball, high, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Richie Robinson, the pitcher for Pleasant Grove. Next pitch on its way. Ball outside, so all of a sudden we had 2 strikes on the batter. and no balls, but now then it's a full count. 3-2. Ashley Davis ready. He takes his wind. Here's a pitch. And another foul ball down the third base line. Coach Pleasant Grove one-hands it, wheels it back out to Ashley. So Robinson's still alive. Robinson the pitcher for Pleasant Grove. Davis the pitcher for the Bobcats. Davis is ready. He winds the pitch. Ball 4. And Robinson walks. So for the third inning in a row.
A tough one to lose, Randy. He had 2 strikes on him initially and then came up with 4 balls and let him get loose and go to first base.
All right, that's 4 walks here in the ball game.
Coming in to run for him is Barry Russell.
All right, Pleasant Grove has got on base on 5 walks here in the first 3 innings. And batting for Pleasant Grove, Brandon Whiten, a shortstop. Brandon also struck out first time. This time he swings. Foul ball, strike 1.
Randy, we see more cameras here at this ball game than we've ever seen. Of course, this is a state championship game, and just on top of the press boxes alone, we see 6 video cameras.
Everybody's seems like filming around, and buddy, this is the first time for us. We'll see how this thing works out when we get back to hopping. Ashley Davis ready, and we'll tell you a little bit about when you can see it. Ashley Davis takes a stretch, and it's a foul ball. Pulled down left field as a runner. Robinson was on his way. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't Robinson because the pinch runner. You know what I was going to say, buddy? As I said, Robinson was stealing, and I was hoping he'd steal a lot where we get him tired because he's pitching, but I forgot. They got a pinch runner.
He's resting over the dugout.
He's resting.
Russell, that's running for Robinson.
All right, and Mike Russell getting on to me over here about, keeping up with it a little bit, but Mike said, remind y'all, this game will be played back Monday afternoon, somewhere around 6 or 7, but you look at TV and find out. And there's a lace down the left field line, foul ball. Boy, I tell you.
That one was foul. It was sharp all the way to the fence, and now Eric Cox picks it up in foul territory, throws it back to Cam Pierce, and all the way to Ashley Davis.
We could not tell from here when he hit it because it looked like a line shot. And like we said, we're on the first base line, and you can't tell where it's fair or foul, but it was foul. Thank goodness we saw watch the umpire throw that hand out to the left. But anyway, this will be played back Monday afternoon, the first game. The second game will be Tuesday night. Monday night, first one about between 6 and 7, but just check TV 6 and you find out when it will be played back.
Count remains 0-2.
Ashley Davis on the mound. Whiten at the plate. Ashley Davis shaking off a lot of pitches today, and Whiten said, I've had enough, and he steps out. So Bobcats in the defense or in the field. Ashley Davis on the mound. Stretch. Ball low. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom half of the third inning with Pleasant Grove up 1-0. I keep forgetting the score. I know people just tuning in want to know what's the score. I keep forgetting. There's a beautiful pitch. A fastball right by Whiten for a K. Strikeout by Ashley Davis.
Number 3.
3 strikeouts for Ashley Davis today. And that'll bring up Dustin Black. Last time, Dustin Black walked. So that'll be 1 out. Runner on first for Pleasant Grove, and the catcher, Dustin Black, at bat. Ashley Davis ready. He gets his signal. He says, okay, this time. Takes a stretch, and there he goes. Runner's gone. Judge Chanel fired to second base. He is out a mile. It was not even close, sports fans.
By Judge Chanel, I promise you, they will not be testing that arm again.
Sports fan, if they was a fast man on first base running for him, I can tell you, Judge Chanel had the ball to Cam Pierce, was covering from shortstop, and he was sitting there with the ball waiting on the runner to slide into him. He was out what you call a country mile.
It was a perfect pitch to throw, and the fact he caught it high, and he was already up in his position to throw when he received the ball and did an outstanding job, and he was there waiting on him, as you said.
All right, that's ball 2. No strikes to Dustin Black, the catcher. 2 out here in the third inning. Bottom of the third. Ashley's ready. And the pitch. A pop up. It's to the infield. Let's see if anybody can get to it. Nobody can get to it. Now, you'll say a pop up the infield now. Why didn't somebody catch it? Well, sports fans, let me tell you exactly what happened. That time, Black had wasn't a real high pop up. It was just a little blooper that went over the pitcher's head, and 3 people dove for it. Cam Pierce came in diving. Brent Hall, and also D. Jones. Everybody went for the ball, and I tell you, I don't believe there's no way anybody could have got to it.
It was within 10 feet of second base, between second and the pitcher's mound, right in the dead spot where everybody had to run the farthest distance.
And nobody could come up with it. So now then, Dustin Black on first base with a hit, infield hit. And that brings the bat, David Landrum. First pitch, ball low. All right.
Is Adam Graham. He's running for the catcher, Black.
Ashley Davis stretches, throws right down there for strike one. Tell you one thing, Judge Chanel put it on the money, didn't he, buddy? All right, we got 2 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
He's taking a big lead over here at first.
Too much. I believe Ashley will come to first this time.
If Ashley doesn't.
And there's a hit to right field. Let's see. Gohagen's under it, and Gohagen makes the catch for out 3.
It was within 4 feet of Gohagen. I'm certainly glad because it was sharply hit anywhere to the left or right of that. It possibly would have been a hit and moved the runner to third at least, or possibly even into a score. However, Bobcats get their third out. So now we go into the top of the 4th. Randy.
All right, at the end of 3 innings. That inning, it was no runs on 1 hit and no errors. So at the end of 3 innings, it's still Pleasant Grove 1 and the Bobcat 0. And we're going to stay here and let you talk to Mr. Mike Russell about all of our sponsors.
One thing we're proud of, Randy, is these new sponsors trying something new here on Channel 6, doing it back live from Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Of course, our sponsor was South Trust Bank and Auto Parts and Op Loan and Leisure, Jones Ford, and old Ted Rockmore down at Ted's Pharmacy, Off My Colas Mills, and old Robert Breedlove down at Op Bell Supply.
And Mike, is that all of them?
That's it.
I tell you one thing, Mike, you've been mighty quiet today. Where you been?
Well, we got too much going on here, Randy. We got cameras, we videotaping, doing it live, lots going on. Got some good help.
You know, Mike, I've never have seen you as nervous as you are today. You come up here and we're coming up and doing a good job coming down here, and we were just cruising along, and all of a sudden we want to pull off, go by Tannehill State Park and check that out. And we get up here, and then all of a sudden you can't get called back in, everything going right. You've been a little nervous about making sure everything was right, hadn't you?
Well, you wanted to get up and leave at 4:30 so we could tour the sites up here. So, you know, we had to go by Tannehill State Park just to see everything.
Well, we made it, didn't we? We got it.
We're here, ain't we?
We're here. We're ready to go. And I tell you what we're finna do now. We're fixing to go into the top half of the 4th inning. We need some runs.
Yeah, we do. We're going to get them.
All right.
As we start the top of the 4th, we'll have the 3rd, 4th, and 5th batter for the Bobcats with Gohagen, Presley, and Chanel. Gohagen, first time up, grounded to the shortstop. Now 6-3 out, and here's Gohagen again. First pitch, as he looks at it, called strike 1. Trailing by the score of 1-0 here in a action-packed first 3 innings. Another good pitch, but this time it was a curveball that was inside. Very slow curve.
2 curves in a row.
1-1. Robinson delivers a low outside this time. It's 2-1 now to Gohagen. Gohagen is pretty good at the bat. Batting the number 3rd position, that's the batter in the lineup that should move the runners up for first and second, but this time he's leading off, and a pass ball by the catcher for the 3rd ball. 3 balls, 1 strike here in the 4th inning.
But he come in here with 3 curves and finally tried his fastball, but it was low and outside in the dirt.
Now we know that he's going to have to go to his bread and butter, and I would think fastball down the pike.
All right, let's see what you do there, Mr. Pyrone.
A swinging foul down 3rd baseline, picked up by the left fielder. So it brings up 3-2 count now. Full count on Gohagen.
I guess you know what you're talking about. You called a fastball, and that's what he brought, didn't he?
Well, that's his best pitch.
Is that better than
3 innings previous? When he wants a strike, he knows he can throw that fastball. And he winds and throws again. This time a swinging strike, but foul back.
Tell you one thing, he had some mustard on that, didn't he?
He wants to get the leadoff batter out, and he was behind initially, but now has a full count on him, and Gohagen standing in there wanting to get on some way. Swings, hit sharply to the second base and bobbled over to first base in time for the first out.
One out here in the 4th inning, and second baseman bobbed it a little bit.
Gohagan hit that one pretty sharply on the dirt, right to the second baseman Atchison. He bobbled it, but was sharply hit in time that Gohagan did not have time to get to first base before he could throw him out. Brings up Neil Presley. Presley, the first time up, got him a hit, a sharp hit to left field. So he now looking as he comes into the box, one out here in the top of the 4th inning. Slow curveball right behind the plate, called strike on Neil Presley. Neil is facing a very talented pitcher who, I think he signed with Auburn. And a crosswind as we see it shifting around. Seems like swirling more around these mountains, I guess, not somewhat what we have in Opp, Alabama. Next pitch was a strike. Now 2 balls, 1 strike to Neil. That was not getting the calls he wants.
Like you said, buddy, from over here, you know, we can't tell from over here. Well, Ronald Corson over here should be planting peanuts, but he's over here and he's shaking his head every once in a while. I hope Tim Loggins doesn't know he's here.
Robinson winds and delivers, slow curveball inside, ball 3. Robinson, the pitcher, on that last one, as I mentioned, did not get the call he wanted. He backed off the mound and just shook his head a little bit. But now we're looking at 3-1 on Neil Presley as he delivers, and it is high. Uh-oh.
Now, buddy, well, you know, the ones that we think strikes, they call them balls, and one we think is balls, they call them strikes. Me and you may just have to, just pay no attention.
We had previously said,
watch it, watch it!
And it came right to the camera.
Hey,
right to Randy Griffin, and he said, watch it, instead of being the good fielder he used to be. He's washed up. He tried to get out of the way.
I thought that camera was in trouble that time. It was coming out holler, watch it.
And you notice, I did not move at all.
Coach Woolley did not even try to help us. Coach Woolley said didn't even try to get up and help us. I'm mad with him.
He'll hit the baseball. Another high pop, this time to the first baseman, calling for it, looking, and
all right,
interference by the second baseman. The first baseman must have lost the ball. He didn't make an attempt.
Buddy, I've never seen anything like that. The first baseman. Now listen to this. It's in foul territory, 2 yards from the left side of the bag at first base. First baseman looks like he's calling for it, and second baseman comes running over, and they run into each other.
I think they had the same problem that Neil Presley had earlier. But let's just thank the Lord that Neil's back up there with a 3-2 count, full count on Neil. This has another opportunity. And the catcher, Black, goes out and talks to Robinson briefly, and now going back behind the plate as Neil steps in to look at a full count as he taking a long time looking at the catcher. Now takes his windup. Delivers high. It is a walk, and Neil Presley luckily gets on base after a mix-up by the first and second baseman here defensively for Pleasant Grove. Their first mistake.
Yeah, buddy, we got to realize, too, these are 16, 17-year-old kids, and you know they're mighty nervous, and this is a big ball game, and we're going to expect a few little blunders out here.
We'll take all of those just like that.
All right.
All right. Judd Chanel, who has been having problems at the bat as of late, we thought had came out of the jinx last week by hitting a home run, but he had problems the first inning as he batted with a strikeout. And now the first pitch to him is low inside, ball 1. Neil Presley, remember, got a good steal last time, got a good jump on the pitcher, went to second base, and now he's on first base taking a lead. Watch Robinson. He is something else on a move to first base. He's quick. 4 steps off Neil's post. He's gone, and the pitch, the throw, and he's going to be safe. Neil Presley showing speed that we do not think he has, but he certainly gets a great jump on the pitcher here. He's studying the pitcher as far from the sideline undoubtedly and gets a great jump and got in there safely.
Would you say that was blinding speed?
Afterburner speed.
All right, that's what I wanted.
Turned on the afterburner from first base to second base.
The afterburner.
You hear those Astros that go across?
He was picking them up and putting them down as he was going to second base.
Judd Chanel at bat with 2 balls, no strikes. He did not shade the runner that time with swinging strike. He just looked at it. This time high. Nope. I apologize, folks. It looked high. It undoubtedly fell in there right at the last moment because the umpire was slow at calling a strike, but he called it a strike. 2-1. I'll try not to be too premature from now on. And that upset Judd a little bit, and Johnny Grimes. Grimes walks down to talk to Judge Chanel. And we have right now, as we look at it, the outfield is straight away. Infield plays it straight as normal. And runner on second does not affect the infield play.
All right, we're moving right along here now. It's in the fourth inning, and it's 1-0 Pleasant Grove over the Bobcats. The Bobcats have a runner at second base.
And one out. Pitch to Chanel. Low swinging curveball as Chanel goes wishing for it and is upset at himself as he comes trotting off the field. And a strikeout, second one for him today, and out number 2 here in the top of the fourth inning. The next batter is Eric Cox. Cox has, if he throws in that fastball, he has an opportunity to hit it. It'll go a long way. Cox is a good fastball hitter. Sharply hit down third baseline. We're going to score a run. Around third base is Presley. Picked up by the left fielder. Cox drives in a run.
Buddy, that was just a routine ball hit down the third baseline, but he took a bad hop right before he got to third baseman, went under his legs, and that knocks in Neil Presley. And this ball game here at Pleasant Grove all tied up 1-1.
So Neil Presley, who's headed to George Wallace State Junior College next year to play baseball, scores the tying run for the Bobcats. It's 1-1, and they can make errors too. They've made 2 in this inning, which has certainly helped the Bobcats. Now we have Eric Cox, who also runs well. He's gone, and the throw down is going to be slow, and it got him. It was right on. A great tag by the second baseman. I thought the ball was going to be low. The second baseman came up with the throw down on the ground and just tagged him on the foot. Cox comes off shaking his head and said, he didn't tag me, he didn't tag me. However, the referee says you're out. For out number 3, after 3.5 innings of play, Randy, it's the Bobcats 1, Pleasant Grove Spartans 1.
We'll be right back.
In Pleasant Grove, Alabama, it's all tied up same as we left, 1-1. Pleasant Grove will be coming to bat. First batter will be Ken Forston. Ken is a DH. He does not play in the field. He's just a batter. He will be followed by Scott Shivers, Brian Atchison, the top 3 batters. The Bobcats have struggled in the field in the first 3 innings, even though Ashley has done an ample job pitching. His defense has not been true to life as it has been in the playoffs up to this point. And Pleasant Grove has managed to come up with only 1 run. Likewise, on the other end, Pleasant Grove has been tough in the field and the pitching until the last inning, where they came up with 2 errors, and that enabled the Bobcats to come up with 1 run to tie the game 1-all. So Ken Forston steps in. First time up, he flied to the first baseman. Ashley Davis looks to Chanel for the signals, throws. First pitch is ball. And the infield straight away, as well as the outfield. He's a right-handed batter, looking at 1-0 count. Ashley delivers swinging strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The wind, now changing direction somewhat, is blowing from left field to first base. This time the ball is hit high to the left fielder, circling under Eric Cox, and he makes the catch, falling backwards somewhat, but regains his balance. That was a long fly ball, and it's a long out. Eric also kind of shading the sun somewhat before coming up with that out. So it's out number 1. It brings up Scott Shivers for Pleasant Grove. Let's see, the first time up, he grounded to the pitcher as he steps in against Ashley Davis. And a good pitch by Ashley, but yep, and finally he calls it. He is giving me problems. He looks to the right and just says, well, I think I'll call it. This one's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Is it your eyes or what is it probably with your day? Your eyes, or you just not in with the umpire or what?
I'm anxious.
Anxious?
I'm anxious.
What does that mean?
The umpire takes a long time to call balls and strikes, and a ball in the dirt picked up by Chanel. So it's 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. A big inning for the Bobcats here. We need to keep them off the base. Get back in. Let's get us some runs. Swinging strike.
Ashley brought something on that one, didn't he? That little muster there too, wasn't it?
Had a little speed on that one. Now he's looking at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball hit to the shortstop, comes up with it, throws it to first base for out number 2. And if you score that one, it's a 6-3 grounder. Cam Pierce did a great job fielding that, coming up swiftly on the ball. It was hugging the ground. It was not a bouncing grounder. It was a hard hit ball on the ground. Came up with it, threw it to first base to D. Jones for out number 2.
All right, Buddy Byron, we're here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and it's in the 4th inning, bottom half of the 4th, and it's all tied up. What a ball game, 1-1.
Next batter, Shane Carnes, who is the right fielder. First pitch to him is ball 1. If we can get him out, it'll be the first time we've had him out without getting a runner on base, and it certainly would help the Bobcats' effort. And that time, I think he does call strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The last time Shane Carnes was up, he drew a walk, and the time before that, he drew a walk. That ball is low inside. 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs.
Good breaking ball that time.
Davis taking a lot of time. He throws a high fastball this time, and he swinging strike, fouling it back is Carnes. Actually, Davis has done a good job pitching, actually better, Atchison rather, better than he has done in the last 2 games. Now he's ready. He takes his windup, and he throws it actually over the head of Atchison.
That time he just had to get out of the way, and that was a slow curveball. He had to really just almost duck to the ground to get out of the way of the ball.
Full count. Big pitch for Davis. Davis delivers. High fly ball coming to the right side. Circling under is Gohagen. He comes up as he has assisted on 3 outs this afternoon, and that was the 3rd out without Pleasant Grove Spartans getting on base. A big turn for the Bobcats as we have completed 4 innings of play as we go to the top of the 5th here in the state championship game. We'll be back in a moment. Here in the top of the 5th inning, the bottom part of our lineup will be up. Josh Kaiser, Ashley Davis, and D. Jones, the 7th, 8th, and 9th batter, as the first pitch to Kaiser is strike 1. Kaiser was in the box the last time, swung on, foul ball off the right side for strike 2. Kaiser was in the box the last time when Eric Cox got thrown out at second base on an attempt to steal. So he comes back to bat here in the top of the 5th inning, and he calls him out. A great pitch by Robinson. A curveball had him fooled, and he was just standing there in his tracks and did not move for out number 1. Ashley Davis, the pitcher for the Bobcats, steps in.
We're at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. It's all tied up in the state finals of 4A baseball. Pleasant Grove Spartans 1, Up High School Bobcats 1.
Last time Ashley was up, he flied to the left fielder. This time he fouls back off behind the plate.
But it's just a nice place to watch the ball game, isn't it? Out yonder in center field, you see they got bleachers,
Well,
lawn
Randy, I'm not
chairs,
sure if you're
everywhere.
in center field watching the ball game, you see a lot of sun. 1 ball, 1 strike. The fans from Pleasant Grove thought sure that was a strike. However, they called it inside.
Well, you talking about out in center field, look at the trees, though. You got a lot of trees sitting under.
Ball 2, low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Actually, they're playing somewhat shallow in the outfield. The infield is playing him straight away. And he hits the ball high to the infield. And the third baseman's calling for it, judging it. He got the ball! The sun not only gives Bobcat players trouble, it actually gave the third baseman fits that time. He had it controlled, and all of a sudden, within the last 20 feet from catching the ball, he didn't know where the ball was.
All right, buddy, running on first base for Ashley Davis will be number 21, Jerry Jones. And like you said, buddy, people at home, I'm sure if they go out the back door and look up, if the sun's like it is here, it's tough, and that ball was a mile high right in the sun. And third baseman, I know he feels bad about it, but I watched him coming in, buddy. I watched his eyes a lot. He took his eyes off about 2 or 3 times trying to find the ball.
Okay, he's up on the grass, third base. Here goes the runner, Jones. They're checking the runner, and he gets out. Great peg by Black, the catcher, throwing it to Atchison. It was the first pitch, first run by Jeremy Jones. He did not get a good jump, but he was certainly out at second base to take him to be our first, make the second out, pardon me.
Buddy, we had a lot of success early in the game running. That's what really made our run, made us happen to score, really. But now then the last 2 times that we've tried it, Dustin Black has really put us out, and he has made 2 good throws.
Made 2 strikes to the base, the ones previous. And there's a fly ball to right field as the right fielder goes back, circles under, and catches it for out number 3. What happened on that as far as the steal, the difference is, Randy, is the 2 previous steals by Neil Presley and Cam Pierce was that the ball was thrown high. This last 2 times that we've tried to steal and was thrown out is because it was right on the base and it was tagged out. So after 4.5 innings of play, the score remains 1-1 here in the championship game of 4A championship baseball between Pleasant Grove and the Bobcats. We'll be back in just a moment.
Back here at Pleasant Grove now, we've got some kind of baseball game. It's a 4A state final championship game. And like we said earlier, now there'll be 2 out of 3, the best 2 out of 3. This afternoon there'll be 2 games played. If one team wins both of them, she's all over. If we split, we'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock with the state championship game.
Okay, we have Carnes, Elrod, and Robinson to be facing Ashley Davis here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This is a big inning for both schools, especially for the Bobcats, because these are the power hitters for the Spartans from Pleasant Grove. Previously, Shane Carnes has walked both times. He bats from the left side, and therefore Neil Presley, who plays center field, has moved over to the right side more so, and Gohagen has backed up and guards the line in right field. Cox himself has moved from left field over to more of a left center, playing it as a power hitter on the right side. Infield plays it straight away. First pitch is high, ball 1. Shane Carnes, a swinging strike.
Fastball.
He had a big cut on that one.
Right down through there.
About 6'2", weighs about 200 pounds, and a big guy. And he had a big cut on that fastball. It got by him. So we're looking at 1 ball, 1 strike. Ashley Davis. This one is a high pop fly. Eric Cox, within 2 steps, comes under, circles under, snags it for out number 1.
Buddy, you sitting there and say it's a high fly, and we're sitting back here saying it looks like a routine fly, and then we look up at that sun, and we just don't ever know whether it's going to be routine or getting the sun or what.
Well, Cox was circling under himself, and he did a good job to come down with it without, and he's shading his eyes somewhat out there. Now they make that that shift again, just like we did, because we have another left-hander. And that is Andy Elrod, the center fielder for the Spartans. He's a big batter for them and has hit a lot of home runs. This time we hope he swinging strike. He has a big cut as well.
He sure does. I was watching him in warm-up, as I said, they batting practice, and he was hitting around that fence all afternoon long. He's definitely got a good cut, and he swings that bat well.
He definitely is a power hitter, because the third baseman for the Bobcats is now playing shortstop. The shortstop is behind second base, and Brent Hall, the second baseman, is over. And if the ball is hit into the alley, comes up with it. Gohagen bobbles it momentarily. He's going for two. It's thrown to second base. He goes in standing up. Power, sharp hit to the right side, right into the alley between Gohagen and Neil Presley. Gohagen came up with it, backstopping it, and he knocked it down to keep him from going to third. That's the best the Bobcats could do. They had the overshift, but it was just a sharp hit out into right field.
All right, now then, Pleasant Grove has a runner on second base, threatening a little bit here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. It's all tied up, 1-1.
And the pitcher, who also has hit 15 home runs this year, steps in. He's a right-hander. He's about 6'1", weighs about 200 pounds, and he's a big cut man. This ball is hit to the left side. It comes up to Eric Cox, and they hold the runner at third, and the runner could have gotten home, but there was a bobble by the shortstop on the throw in. It got to Josh Kaiser at third base, and now we have runners on first and third with one out, with two sharp hits, first of all by Elrod and then by Robinson to the left side. And now we have a pinch runner going in, who is Barry Russell, to run for the pitcher. He's at first base, and remember last time we threw him out. All right, Elrod's on third, Russell on first, with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Again, we struggle.
Bobcats in a little bit of trouble here in the fifth inning. Needs something big to happen. A double play would be good, and we'll see now, buddy, if they'll run and if we'll throw through or what. We're finna find out.
I believe they'll run. He takes a big lead off first. Swinging strike.
That fastball, I mean, Ashley Davis hummed that one right down the middle.
Whitten.
And he took a cut at it.
Drew back to want to hit the long ball. The coach says, hit it deep. We'll score from third. Just hit it deep. And he tried to hit it, but he missed the ball that time. Ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. All tied up. Spartans won, Bobcats won. Bobcats have struggled defensively, and now the Spartans come up with 2 hits back-to-back to put runners on first and third. Ashley Davis delivers. Swinging strike. Whiten.
Good curveball that time. Good pitch by Ashley Davis. It broke that one off, and the batter way out in front of it.
1-2 is the count. Tremendous pitch. We need another one here, back-to-back. Now, don't be surprised if Russell doesn't go on this pitch. The coach, the umpire calls a momentarily time to get the Spartans back in the dugout. They were outside the dugout. He says, hold it, time. Let's put them back where they're supposed to be, coach. Now Davis takes a long count, looks to first. He delivers. Swinging high fly ball to left field. Cox circles under, looks, catches it, and he's coming from third. The throw is coming in. They're going to cut it off. And no play. The run scores for the Spartans to go ahead. There's 2 outs, and the man that done the job was Brandon Whiten, the shortstop. He did hit it deep enough that Cox could not throw it in to home plate.
So, buddy, really this time a double and then a single has got Pleasant Grove on the scoreboard, and now lead 2-1.
Dustin Black, the catcher, steps in with a runner on first with 2 out. It's a chip shot going to Josh Kaiser at third base. Josh catches it for out number 3. So a fly to the third baseman ends the inning here in the bottom of the fifth, but not before 2 base hits by the Spartans bring it to 2-1, and a long fly ball that was hit by Brandon Whiten enabled them to score the go-ahead run. So we have completed 5 innings of play. It's the Spartans 2, the Bobcats 1. We'll be back in a moment.
Here at Pleasant Grove, and Pleasant Grove Spartans just went ahead of the Bobcats in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Bottom half of the 5th inning is on warming up out there. Pleasant Grove throws one over the first baseman's head, goes in the dugouts, and Bobcats have to be careful in between innings because I tell you, it's a dangerous place right over at first base. You're going to have somebody really like you do a pitcher or back them up because they've definitely been thrown in the dugout. Almost got hit for the game. But anyway, we're back here at Pleasant Grove now, and we're getting ready to start the top half of the 6th inning with the Bobcats trailing Pleasant Grove Spartans 2-1.
And as we start the top of the 6th, we're going to start with the leadoff batter, Cam Pierce. So we think we got 2 more times at bat, and we got to score more than 1 run, and we can do that. Cam Pierce, the leadoff batter for the Bobcats, will be facing Robinson, who has gone all the way for the Spartans and has done a good job. Pierce previously has gotten on base by a base hit to left field, and then was hit by the pitcher with a curveball, but he's been on 2 times previously. Swinging hard, strike, foul back.
Tell you one thing, Cam took a cut at that one, buddy. He took a good cut.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cam looks sharper at the plate today than he has in the previous playoff games. Possibly that scholarship Chattahoochee Valley might have helped him out a little bit.
He's definitely taking some good cuts at it. He's hitting the ball real sharp all day long.
Robinson taking a long time on the mound, now decides to deliver, and a curveball that was swung and down into the dirt by Cam Pierce. We're looking at 1 ball, 2 strikes. On the first batter for the Bobcats here in the top of the 6th. Bouncing ball into the dirt, gets by the catcher. Well, obviously one thing for sure, win, lose, or draw, or whatever the state might be, this certainly has been a challenge for the Spartans so far. Nothing like they said in the Birmingham News it would be a runaway.
I tell you, Bobcats have fought real hard here in this first ball game, and it's a good one, 2-1.
I think we've given them all the want so far. Cam holds up on a high fastball, and we're looking at a full count. They've run it full on Cam Pierce. Cam has a good eye. That's why he's leadoff batter. And his mission is to get on base some way. Swinging to the left side to the third baseman through his legs. Cam takes a turn. He looks at it. And he holds up. He makes the turn, however. It goes right between the third baseman's legs. And that's number 2 on the third baseman as well. David Landrum has made error number 2.
Did not get his skirt down that time, did he, buddy?
It looked as though he was playing in the Little League. We don't anticipate that here in the state championship. A routine ground ball. He undoubtedly looked up.
All right, buddy Pye, we got a runner on first base now, and this is going to be our big ending with Brent Hall at the bat.
All right, watch Cam. He got a steal the first time, but he's going to play it safe now, as they are respecting the arm of Black somewhat as they did initially. They tried to run on him every time he got on base, and then the last 2 times he's done a great job of throwing the runners out. Got a big league, and Brent Hall attempts
foul ball. Bring it back.
Bunt, and it was a foul. Brent squared the bunt, fouled it back.
All right, baby Pye, we got a runner on first base, nobody out. Brent Hall at the bat. Bobcats trail 2-1 here in the top half of the 6th inning at Pleasant Grove, Alabama.
All right, let's see what Brent Hall's done today. He has a fielder's choice and struck out, so he's 0 for 2 as he's in there with an 0-1 count now, looking against Robinson. Robinson delivers, and it was a fastball. He put some fire on that one.
Bobcats look like we're going to try to sacrifice him around the first 2. Now we'll see whether we still got the sacrifice on or whether we're hitting away.
1-1 is the count. Brent Hall looks a long time down to Coach Johnny Grimes. Grimes just looks to the ground. Now Hall steps in. He squares. It is low. 2 balls, 1 strike.
All right, buddy Pine, we got 2 balls, 1 strike. Like you said here, runner on first base. Bobcats look like you're still trying to sacrifice to get the runner down to second base to try to get the tying run in.
Cal Pierce looking over to Coach Johnny Grimes. With 2 balls, 1 strike, Brent Hall steps back in against Robinson. There's no outs here in the top of the 6th. Cam Pierce goes. The ball is swung on. Fly ball to the first baseman. Hits on top of the first base dugout. And that's just a foul ball on the long strike.
Buddy Pine, I tell you what, Cam Pierce had his head lowered. He was going second base as hard as he could. The ball was popped up on the first base side, and it's drifting towards the dugout, and everybody was hollering as loud as they could for Cam to get back, and Cam was running hard as he could. And he finally noticed it about time he got to second base, but thank goodness it hit the dugout because he was hustling.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Brent Hall. This time he'll have to hit away. He will not be squaring the bunt. Again, Pierce takes a step out. The ball is high.
Is that 3-2?
A long look by the umpire, but it called a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You think we may be going this time, Buddy, or not? Buddy said we don't know. We don't have any idea.
Pierce looks at Coach Johnny Grimes again with a full count, no outs. He takes a lead. 3 steps, 4 steps, and moves over. Swung on, hit sharply by Brent Hall to right center field. Cam Pierce goes around second, going to third. Hall holds up at first base. Runners on the corners.
All right, Buddy Pine, that was just a
by Brent Hall.
Line drive by Brent Hall into left center field. He got all of that ball, and I mean, he laced it out there. And Cam Pierce, as he was rounding second base, Buddy, he did not look back. He was on his way to third.
Be careful now. Brent Hall may be going to second. He gets so piped up, he may just turn on his afterburner and go to second here. As the next batter, Gohagen, will step in for the Bobcats. He looks to Johnny Grimes. Runners on the corners. Definitely a different situation with no outs here in the top of the 6th. We're behind by 1, and we are threatening. A long ball here will tie us up. Throwback. Hall has gotten out one time previously. He does not favor that move to first base. He got a good call one time and got back safely. Then in that same inning, he was thrown out by the pitcher back to first base. So there's timeout on the field. The coach from Spartans wants to talk to Robinson on the mound, and the whole infield comes in, Randy.
All right, Buddy Pine, what's happened here is Brent's getting a big lead at first base, and he's leaning towards second. The coach of Pleasant Grove called timeout. They're going to see whether they're going to throw through or not. Coach Grimes calls Brent, the batter's over there, and he's talking about whether we're going to be running out. So we got a lot of coaching strategy going on here in the 6th inning.
All right, the question is, if he goes, and he attempted that time to go, do you throw down a man on third? And our coach wanted just to discuss that and say, I'd rather have him on second than a bad throw, and we get the man on third. Look for the cutoff on this one. If he goes, Brent Hall takes 3 steps. He's throwing back. It was a close play again, right down at the first base.
I tell you one thing about it, buddy. He is definitely taking him a lead over here at first base, and they're definitely throwing it.
Brent takes again 3. He's gone. Squares to bunt. Bobbled by the catcher. Going to be safe. Outstanding. The catcher wanted to throw, or they were going to throw, but they were going to throw the cutoff. The second baseman was going to take the cutoff rather than the shortstop.
They did not even cover the bag, did they?
Well, they definitely were going to let him go to second, but they were going to make the throw to home if they had to. But the catcher messed it up by a bobble, and no one was out. We got runners on second and third. Gohagen's at the bat with
nobody out.
1 strike, no outs, 1 strike on the batter. We want the long ball here. And a beautiful pitch called strike. It was a hanging curve, but a floater come in right into the strike zone for strike number 2. What we don't want is a strikeout here. We want something to move the runners.
Runners on second and third for the out Bobcats, trailing by 1 run.
A swinging strike, and to strike him out, Chris Gohagen, unable to do his job he wanted to do, but to move the runners by some kind of putting it in play, was unable to do so. It brings up the fourth batter for the Bobcats, number 18, the senior Neil Presley. They're just going to put him on.
And walk Neil Presley.
That's going to load the bases, and, of course, that's good strategy in the fact now with one out, they can go for the double play to end the inning. And guess who's coming to bat? Judd Chanel.
All right, Judd's finna come through this time with a big hit.
Last 2 times has struck out. And I know he's thinking right now, I don't want to strike out again. I don't want to strike out again.
I tell you one thing, Robinson did a good job pitching the last batter. Now he's fastball, and then broke that old curveball phone right at the end.
And he is a smart pitcher, Randy. We're evidence of the fact that he is a quality pitcher at the 4A level.
This has been a great, great baseball game here, sports fans. We're at Pleasant Grove. Bobcats trail by 1. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
Robinson will deliver as he pitches. Swung on. Fouled back. I tell you what, the fans have gotten their $3 worth in this game. They need to go back and pay $3 again for the next one.
That's right. This has been a great game. Bobcats is going to make something happen this inning right here. Make something happen.
All right. Bases loaded. No out. Excuse me, 1 out. 0-1 count. Low. You know, this puts pressure and a lot of confidence in your pitcher because you only lead by 1. You load the bases and you know they have no place to put him. So a walk here would be as good as a hit.
I believe it. Yes, sirree.
1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Judd Chanel, the batter. Swinging strike. Judd is turning his head, and he certainly has his number on the curveball.
Tell you one thing, the pitcher is definitely bringing a lot of curves in there. Like we said, buddy, he's a smart pitcher, good pitcher. Chanel is out in front of the plate at least 1.5 feet. He's looking for curve. Watch fastball. High. He laid off of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded.
Here certainly would help Chanel's feelings as far as the 2 previous strikeouts.
Bases loaded here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama.
Out in front of the plate. Neil Presley takes up big lead off first. Swung on, hit to the shortstop. He's over to second, going to first. He's going to be, got him for a double play. Perfect play defensively by the Spartans. They did exactly what they had to do to get us out of the inning with bases loaded with 1 out. The ball was hit sharply to the shortstop, over to the second baseman to the first baseman in time for out number 2 and 3. So that took us out of the inning, which we had some runners in scoring position with no outs. They did a good job to shut us down here in the top of the 6th. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th, trailing 2-1. We'll be back in a moment.
All right, we're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Pleasant Grove Spartan, the Bobcats in the state championship finals. The Bobcats had a big chance there in the top half of the 6th inning, bases loaded and 1 out, and we could not come up with a run. Had a good opportunity, but just things did not work out for us. So we're going in now to the bottom half of the 6th inning, and I know that's a little discouraging to the Bobcats, but, you know, things like that happen. You got to get up and get with it. And now then, let's say while catcher's getting ready, we're about ready to get started. Ashley's warming up now with the shortstop, Cam Pierce. And coming to the bat for Pleasant Grove here in the bottom half of the 6th inning will be David Landrum, Ken Folsom, and Scott Shivers. So, like we said, we're here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Bobcats trail Pleasant Grove by a score of 2-1.
Randy, we missed our chance on that last one, and of course, we just hope it doesn't come back to haunt us. Of course, we're behind 2-1, and we had an opportunity to tie it up or even go further if there was a bobble, but the Spartan defense did a great job. We have to give them credit. Pitcher did a great job. A big strikeout for that first out because that enabled them to come up with a double play to end the inning. But maybe we'll have another opportunity in the 7th. This has been a terrific ball game so far.
Buddy, what we got to do now, we got to go ahead and get them out and get our heads up, get them out and come back and be ready to go after them and get some runs when we come in our half.
glad to see Judge Chanel hit the baseball, though, after 2 previous strikeouts. That time he delivered what he had to do, is hit the baseball. It just happened to be right to the shortstop, and he came up with it sharply.
And he hit it pretty good, too, buddy. And the thing about it, that's what helped with the double play, that he hit it good. And shortstop just made a good play of whipping over second baseman and over to first.
Bobcats shift defensively somewhat. David Landrum, a right-hander from the first baseman, big guy, steps in. Let's see, he has reached on an error and fly to right field. Previously, he's 0 for 2. However, he's been on base 1 time. First pitch to him is called strike 1.
Good pitch by Ashley Davis. As right now, the Pleasant Grove Spartans fans across the way, buddy, they are really giving encouragement to the Spartans.
Good crowd has amassed here, somewhat around 1,000 people, I would say. I just went into the ops stands, and there's no sitting room whatsoever, and they are along the first base line all the way around into the right field. We'll maybe pan around that way and get a shot of those in the outfield shortly, as swinging strike 2. So we have 1 ball, 2 strikes on the first baseman, David Landrum. And strike 3, bobbled by the catcher. He's got to throw it to first base, and he does so for out number 1.
1 out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, buddy, and we need to go ahead and get them on out. As like you said, we got a big crowd here today.
The next batter stepping in will be Ken Forstrom. Ken is a DH. He bats from the right side. And let's see, he's flying to the first baseman, and this time he flies deep, 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 and is caught against the fence at 380 feet by Neil Presley. Neil saw it that time.
Buddy Pyron, I thought this field, this stadium or whatever you want, I thought there's no way in the world to hold that ball. When he hit it, I just fell back in my chair because I knew it was gone. But Neil Presley made a play, and if Neil had not have caught it, it would definitely been a home run. He reached over the fence. Now, the fence is not about 3 foot high or something, but it was definitely been long gone.
A mighty big play by Neil, as he was able to shade his eyes enough to see it across the fence and reached up and got it. Brings up the left fielder, swung on, strike 1. Scott Shevers. And let's see, Scott is 0 for 2. One strike on the batter. He's 1 for 3 rather. And he attempted to bunt that time, missed the ball. So it's 0-2 on the batter with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Trying to drag bunt that one down the third base line and just missed it.
Swung on, hit to the first baseman, gets through his legs, and he's going to second base. It's going to be picked up by Gohagen, the right fielder, going into the infield to Josh Kaiser over at third, but he gets on first with an error to the first baseman.
Both teams, buddy, with little jitters here in this state playoff game, as both teams have seemed to let them get through their legs here and help the other team out.
Randy, our defense has not been what it has been up to this point, and because of that, we're trailing 2-1. And here in the bottom of the 6th, the next batter stepping in, Brian Atchison. He's a right-hander, second baseman. Throw to him, the first pitch is called strike 1.
No balls, 1 strike, buddy. And like you said, you know, buddy, though, it's a lot of nerves in this game here. A lot of nerves.
The runner at second being held on somewhat by Cam Pierce. Now Cam goes behind him. He takes about 4 or 5 steps and then comes back to second base. Actually just looks that way and pauses. Now again, a good lead. High fastball. Ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Shevers, the runner. Swung on, high, fly ball going into center field. Presley calls for it and controls it for out number 3. So we end the inning, the 6th inning of play, with a score remains. It's the Spartans 2, the Bobcats 1 here in the first game of the state championship. We have one time at bat, Randy.
All right, that's it. After 6.5 innings, it's 2-1 in favor of Pleasant Grove. We'll be right back.
And Pleasant Grove, the first batter for the Bobcats, Eric Cox, steps in the top of the 7th, and pressure is mounting. Swung on, hit to the left side, through the left third baseman, going to the left field. He takes the turn. He's going to go to second. He's going to go standing up. Eric Cox stands up at second. Third baseman, let it get by him again, Randy.
All right, but that time that was not an error. That time the ball was hit right down the line. He went right over the base, and I got to take up a third baseman there. He had no chance at all. Eric McBrayer, he had no chance at all to get that one. He went right over the bag, and he had to try to backhand it, and Eric Cox came up with a double.
The left fielder paused momentarily out there. He had a little problem with it in the corner. It hit against the fence. He lost it briefly, and that gave Eric the opportunity to go to second standing up instead of being close at second. And now we have Josh Kaiser stepping in for the Bobcats. The pressure is mounting against Robinson. The pressure is mounting against the Bobcats, and the tension is going up and up against the fans. As you can see here in the background, our fans, as well as the Bobcat and the Spartan fans. And the hit, swung on to the right side, over to the first base. He's going to be out number 1, but he moves the runner to third base. A long ball here would possibly tie it up.
Error, anything right here will kind of hit. We just take a hit, error, anything.
Would you think about a squeeze play? Would you think about a bunt? Would you think about the long ball? Now, Ashley Davis, who's gone all the way at pitcher, has the opportunity to tie the ball game up himself with a base hit or with something.
There's a lot of opportunity.
If we put it in play, we have a play to come home. Yeah. I guarantee you.
And, buddy, you know what's going through the people in this stand? All the, these Monday morning quarterback coaches and all these people, everybody's knowing what you should do right now. If they could just get out there and do it, but everybody's telling us what to do.
One thing we don't want is a K.
No one say that. You said that last time, and we're going to mark that off. That no happen. No way.
Ashley Davis was in the box. He stepped out. He's playing cat and mouse somewhat with Robinson, the pitcher. The pressure's on Robinson as well. Swung on. Strike 1. Good pitch. I thought Ashley might have got a piece of it. This time we will hope he gets a better piece and puts it out into the outfield.
Tell you one thing he's doing, still doing a good job pitching, buddy. Good job. The wind's picking up a little bit here now.
The wind now has picked up, moving from left field to first base. As we look, Ashley is looking actually southeast.
Catcher calls timeout, pitcher calls timeout, and now they're going out and talk to each other, and Coach Grimes talks to Ashley Davis.
We mentioned about pressure, and certainly it's on the catcher as well as the pitcher. The catcher knows if there's something hit, he's got to make the tag at home plate. If they come home with it, and certainly they would give up the base hit to first base to try to make the out at home plate. They're ahead 2-1. Pressure is mounting on Coach Grimes as he takes a stroll back to third base. On Eric Cox, who certainly is jubilant for his hit to get a double. And now Ashley Davis, who's at bat, who's also gone the way for pitching for the Bobcats, has done an ample job holding only 2 runs here against a powerful Pleasant Grove team. Ball is thrown outside, wide. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the top of the 7th. We need more than 1 because they get a bat also.
But we need this 1 first.
Ashley Davis, the senior, he looks, swung on. It's hit to the right side. It is going to be caught by the right fielder, and it's going to be a shot cut off, and it's going to be on plate. It was cut off by Landrum, the first baseman. Landrum turns, throws a strike to home plate, but it is late. The ball was knocked out of the hand of the catcher by Eric Cox. Great job by Cox. Great job by Ashley Davis. There's 2 outs in the top of the 7th.
I don't know if anybody understands what happened, but I'll tell you one thing. The Bobcats have tied this ball game up, haven't they?
Explain it again. The ball was hit to short right field, and the right fielder Shane Carnes came up with it, threw a strike to the cutoff, which was Landrum, the first baseman. He turned through the home plate for a strike, but it was late momentarily for Cox to score, to tie the game up. Now D. Jones steps in as he takes a high fastball. Ball one.
New ball game, all tied up, 2-2.
At this point in time, that is true. Let's look at the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Carnes, Elrod, and Robinson. The heart of their order will be coming up to look at the Bobcats, so we need to get one here some way. Swung on. Strike.
He took a cut at that one, Buddy Pine.
One ball, one strike. I think D wants to redeem himself from that little bobble he made here in the last inning, as one went between his legs as well. 2 outs in the top of the 7th. 1-1 is the count. The pitch swung on. Strike 2.
Good pitch that time, Buddy. That old breaking curveball again that time.
D. Jones went fishing on that one. He lost where that ball was. It certainly was a breaking ball. Now he looks down to Coach Grimes. Coach Grimes, in a somewhat of a linebacker squat position, gives a signal to him. Hit the baseball, I think. And a beautiful pitch. He had him fooled entirely right down the middle. Slow curveball for out number 3. But what about it? Here in the bottom of the 7th, as we go to the bottom, it's all tied up in the state championship game between the Op Bobcats and the Pleasant Grove Spartans. We'll be back in a minute.
Pleasant Grove, and I tell you what, sports fans, Bobcat fans, whatever you are, we are having a good time up here. State championship finals. The Op Bobcats, Pleasant Grove Spartans. It's all tied up, 2-2. Bobcats just came up with one big run in the bottom of the top half of the 7th inning.
I'll tell you something, Randy. These Spartans up here more or less rule baseball in 4A. But I tell you what, they have come to play from South Alabama today. The Out Bobcats are hanging in there, and keep tying it up. We need to go back and get some, maybe pay another $3 for this one.
Hey, man, I think everybody ought to go back and pay $3 more or something, because they've got their money's worth today.
All right, the first man in will be Shane Carnes, the right fielder. He's a left-hander. Davis delivers. It is called strike 1 to start the the bottom of the 7th inning.
We get this in and out here, buddy. We get it out right here. We're going to be all right.
A quick out here, and that sun certainly is bearing down on the outfield. That one is outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ashley Davis, the senior pitcher, 12-1 for the season, has done a tremendous job here today against a good hitting baseball team. Carnes steps out, now back in. The delivery swung on. A big swing by Carnes. He was going downtown, and he missed it.
Good fastball that time.
1 ball, 2 strikes. On the right fielder, steps out, now back in, as Ashley Davis has one to waste here. Look for this one in the dirt. Strike 3. He got by him with his fastball. He has that momentum pumping here. Ashley Davis is fired up, and I think he might, that strikeout number, I'll have to count them up.
Buddy Pine, he brought that ball. Now, you talk about bringing one. He reared back that time and threw that one right past him. A good fastball.
That's going to bring up the next batter, Andy Elrod, a power hitter. And we play in power. We pull to the right side. We have the overshift. Josh Kaiser, who plays third, is actually playing shortstop, as we did last time. The ball is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Let's set the position again. Eric Cox has moved to the power alley in left field. Neil Presley is to the right side of center field. Swung on. It's a high ball going to the left field. Eric Cox circles under, calls for it, and has it for out number 2. Yeah! Elrod sits down in the 7th with a fly ball to left field.
Buddy Pine, it's everybody's around here. You know, ain't most people, I look around nervous. Ain't most people nervous around here. I've ever seen everybody walking around, not watching the game. Half of the parents are looking the other way. Hey, I'm enjoying this. We're having a ball.
Remember the top half of this inning, and the person that came to bat when we were behind 2-1 was our pitcher, Ashley Davis. Now with 2 out, tied 2-2, the pitcher for the Spartans, Robinson. Richie Robinson is at bat. and he's a good one.
He can hit it. I believe he's the one. If I'm not wrong, I believe he has 15 home runs on the year.
15 home runs this year. The first pitch to him was ball one. Ashley Davis, who's pumped up, takes and he delivers. Swung on, strike one.
And he was going downtown on that one.
He was trying to go downtown. But that time, he missed it. 1 ball, 1 strike. They played him short in right field, but deep in left. Power hitter. And it's low. So Ashley is looking at 2 balls, 1 strike on a very good hitter and also a very good pitcher. Done a great job today. That pitch just outside.
Bobcats wanted it.
Chanel hesitated and kind of questioned the umpire without actually saying anything. We're looking at 3 balls, 1 strike. Look out here. This is a good pitch to hit. Davis taking a long time, now nods. He got the sign. He throws.
All right.
Yes, strike 1. Not what the pitcher wanted. In other words, I'm saying he was looking for a fastball. He got a curveball. He laid off of it. It's a full count here with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. Look out. This pitch is dramatic.
Everybody on their feet.
And now he walks out. The sun comes out. It was in a shade momentarily from the somewhat cloud cover that we do have every now and then. Uh-oh, he bounced that one up there. It got away from Ashley that time. He bounced that one, and I'm kind of glad he did. I didn't want him to give anything good for Mr. Robinson to hit because I'm afraid he would try to take it downtown.
And, you know, that way with nobody on base, I was afraid he'd be going downtown with it, too. And so we're not hurt right there if we settle down here now and just get this batter out.
And the guy that did the job for him last time, Brandon Whiten, if you remember, he hit it hard, and he had a sacrifice fly that scored the run. He comes to bat now. We have a pinch runner. Russell comes in to do the running for the Spartans. So he's on first, and, of course, their coach would like to see him move up as well. Ashley Davis takes, throws, delivers. It is called strike 1. Whiten looks at the first strike. Here with 2 out with a runner on first. He takes 3-4 steps off. Davis shaking his head. Now looks over to first. To the mat. And a swinging strike.
And Buddy Pyron, the batter that time, was looking for a fastball, but he got a little break in. Good pitch by Ashley Davis.
And be careful here. This time the runner may be going. Try to have something to happen. The coach across the way giving signals to Russell, who takes the lead. No, he does not go. Swung and struck him out.
Bingo!
Tremendous strikeout by Ashley Davis. He threw the heat.
He fired it.
He fired that one.
Threw some mustard.
Pumped the Bobcats up. They came running off the field, and we have completed 7 innings of play here in the first game of the state championship. We're going to number 8. Hang on. The score is the Bobcats 2, the Spartans 2. We'll be back in a moment.
Back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Pleasant Grove Spartan, the Opp High School Bobcats. What a day. We're all going into extra innings. It's the top half of the 7th inning. It's all tied up 2-2.
And we start just like we began, 2-2. The first batter, Cam Pierce, steps in, and he looks at strike 1.
That time it was a curveball, sweeping curveball inside, and Cam was trying to take one for the team. He turned his shoulder, tried to get hit, buddy, but he did not hit him. He called it a strike.
All right. 0-1. Cam Pierce, who's had a good day at the bat, looks at ball 1 outside.
Buddy, wouldn't you think that both pitchers are getting stronger the longer we go?
Well, in a state championship game as such as this, you get pumped up, the old momentum flowing in a tight game like this. If it was a runaway, it might be different. The next pitch, outside. But these are quality pitchers. Ashley's 12-1. This guy is 10-1.
And they're both pitching a tremendous baseball game today.
Oh, foul ball. He wanted to hold up, but it hit his bat. And
it hit him, buddy.
Oh, outstanding.
And here comes their coach flying out here.
There, but the umpire made the call. I thought it hit his bat as well. It fouled back, but Cam was complaining of his hand, I think, and he got a good call. The Spartan coach is upset, but
he's asking to ask the first base.
Cam is on first base.
He wanted to ask the first base umpire, but no way the first base umpire could tell where they hit the bat or him. No way. Now the first base umpire is coming down.
Now, Coach Vernon McBride wants to talk about the situation a little bit, too, as he walks down there. And now the third base umpire comes over. And by the way, they are from the Sand Mountain Association. Sand Mountain Association, which is across town.
And they say it hit him, but we come away on the road. You come away with a big call like that, you know.
Right,
and
gentlemen,
it hit Cam Pierce, so Cam's on first.
Let's set the stage for you here. Look at the first baseman talking to Cam. He is telling him something. Hey, you know it didn't hit you. You know it didn't hit you. All right. Setting the stage, we have Cam Pierce on first base. There's no outs.
Little controversy here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. The Bobcats and Pleasant Grove Spartans, but the coaches were nice about it. They all questioned umpire, but nobody got real upset, buddy, and they kept their cool.
Brent Hall will be the next batter for the Bobcats, and let's see what Coach Johnny Grimes does with Cam Pierce. He takes the lead, 3 steps, 4 steps, now 5, and he squares, but Cam was not going that time, even though Brent Hall squared to make a bunt. The infield came charging from third base. The first baseman did not because he was holding.
What we're trying to do is sacrifice him down, and he's got to put it on the ground before Cam runs. And so let's see, we got to sacrifice on again. We tried this in first inning, and it didn't work for us.
With that first pitch, it was a strike. Now we're looking at 0-1. Robinson delivers. It's a bunt, and it's a great bunt. It's going to be out. Out. At first base, Brent Hall upset. It's hard to tell what the situation is. Coach Vernon McBride trying to control Brent Hall. Brent thought he got on first, but it did do what he had to do. It was a sacrifice bunt. Cam Pierce goes to second. Brent Hall, a perfect position of the bunt, got around first base, and the pitcher and the first baseman both tried to handle it. First baseman tags the base for the out. The umpire called it very, very close. Now there was some discussion out in the left field.
What happened was a balloon came on the field, and it's just like at Atlanta Stadium. Balloons and all come on the field, and the umpire goes out, pops a balloon, and we're ready to play ball, and the umpire's got timeout, and the pitcher throws the ball anyway, but it's no pitch.
All right, plays back in now. Cam Pierce is at second base with 1 out as Brent Hall did his sacrifice at first base and was called out. Cam Pierce on second. Chris Cohagen steps in for the Bobcats as the batter. And the first pitch to him, swung and missed. A swinging strike on a high fastball as we need to move Cam Pierce around. Coach Johnny Grimes pacing the sideline on the far side in the coaching box. A swinging strike, a slow curveball that time. And Robinson showing his quality as a pitcher as he came up to Chris, threw a hard charging fastball. He swung at it and then threw a curveball, swung at that one. Now there's an 0-2 count with 1 out and a runner on a runner on second here in the top of the 8th inning. It's all tied up in the state championship game, the first game of the series, 2 out of 3. And this is a dramatic game and a big one for both schools.
What a game, Byron.
Next pitch, swung on, and he missed it. The curveball actually broke about a foot, and that's about how much Cohagen missed that one. The next batter up for the Bobcats will be Neil Presley. Presley.
I got a feeling they allowed to put him on again. I bet they're going to put him on again.
Well, let's see what the statement is, and yes, that is true. They undoubtedly have got a scouting report on Neil Presley hits the long ball.
They definitely got a scout report on Neil Presley. That's 2 times in a row. They have intentionally walked him, do not even throw a pitch to him. They put him on base.
We have runners on second and first. Those are 2 future college baseball players. Cam Pierce going to Chattahoochee Valley. Neil Presley going to George Wallace Junior College. And the next man, and possibly the reason they did that with 2 outs, is Judd Chanel, who's had problems at the bat today. First pitch to Judd, swung on, hit to the left side, going to a base hit. Here comes Cam Pierce. Hey, yeah. Into the outside. Cam Pierce crosses the plate. A bobble at third base. They're going to third. And he is safe. Let me explain what happened. The ball was hit sharply by Judge Chanel to left field. It was bobbled by the left fielder. He made the throw in. It was bobbled by the third baseman, and Neil Presley going from second to third. He's changing the runner. Going from second to third was safe. We have runners on second and runners on third with 2 out. We are ahead in this ball game by the score of 3-2. Cam Pierce scores on the hit by Judge Chanel, and whatever player, I tell you what, that's got to lift his spirit.
Hey, Buddy Pryor, you know Judge Chanel, he's been down a little bit on his cell more than anything, but what, he'll never have a bigger hit in his lifetime than that one right there.
Judge Chanel replaced by Rashad Tillis, a pinch runner for the catcher, who is now on second base. Neil Presley, the senior, on third base. And
Bobcats.
let's see, the person at bat is Eric Cox, and they call timeout. Why not? They have got to talk about it. This pitcher, Richie Robinson, has pitched a tremendous game, and he has had some problems with his fielding out in the outfield and in the left side. Matter of fact, I see a change at third base. Number 42 has come into the game. That is Chris Elliott to replace the third baseman who the coach says should have made some plays. But that last one was a bouncing hard ball through the left side, and the left fielder also bobbled it. So that enabled our runners to move up and advance, and now they're putting Cox, who has also been good at the bat today, on first base. Loads them up for Josh Kaiser. They did not see the Grand Bay game, undoubtedly. Grand Bay, Josh Kaiser hit the baseball swiftly, but they're going by percentages. They need only 1 out, and it's better to get it in any base than at first base.
All right, Buddy Pryor, bases loaded here.
Josh Kaiser steps in, the junior. Looks at Robinson. And the first pitch swung on, swinging strike.
What a swing, Pryor. What about them Bobcats, Mr. Pryor?
Hey, we need to go pay ourselves, fellas.
Bases loaded.
The next pitch swung on and outside. All right, we got a 1-1 count with two out here in the top of the 8th inning. I remember to say the top, they do have a shot at bat. But we're ahead, folks, for the first time. The next pitch is going to be inside, a 2-ball, 1 count. And you know what? A walk would move them up and score another run. It's just like a good hit.
It sure would be.
Pressure is mounting on Mr. Richie Robinson, who is a good one. And I'll use that term. Swung on. Oh, almost swung. He held up. It was a fastball.
3-1.
The pressure ever mounts. 3 balls, 1 strike. Josh Kaiser. I'm sure he will take another strike if it's in there anywhere not exactly down the middle. Josh Kaiser, the junior. Swung on. The ball is hit to center field. It's going to fall close. Here. Josh Kaiser going to second base. Presley scores. Rashad Tillis scores. Eric Cox holds up at third base. It was a floating high fly ball right behind second base, short of the center fielder, Elrod. He could not come up with it. A tremendous hit. The Bobcats propel up to 5-2. The score here in the top of the 8th. Things have gone haywire for the Pleasant Grove Spartans in the championship game.
Are we having a good time yet?
Outstanding. Josh Kaiser delivers a base hit to center field as they were playing it deep. And now Cox is on third, Kaiser on second. The next batter, Ashley Davis, the pitcher for the Bobcats, steps in as he looks at the first.
Well, he took a cut.
Strike 1. He would like to help himself here.
Help your own call here, Ashley. Help your own call.
I wonder what the scouting report said about the Bobcats coming from behind. Let's see. Ashley Davis looking again with a 1 strike. Swung on, strike 2.
Little base hit means 2 more runs. Bobcats up 5-2 here in the top half of the 8th inning.
All right, 0-2, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Richie Robinson looking at Ashley Davis. Long count. Swung on, foul ball.
Buddy Pryor, I tell you one thing. It's been a good one here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. She's been a good one. We got a lot of nervous parents watching around. Gary Hall walking around behind us back here. Everybody knows I don't believe Gary's watched 2 innings. He's walked back and forth 100 times a day.
All right, Robinson ready. Long count. Now he delivers, swung on, and strike 3 on Ashley Davis to end the inning. But not before. The Bobcats propelled out in front. They came from 2-1 to 2-2, and now 5-2 in the top of the 8th.
All right, buddy Pyron, I tell you one thing, I've never seen anything more exciting in my lifetime, and we got our old running mate here. I don't know who he is or what he is, Mike Russell. Mike, tell us a little bit about our sponsors today.
Buddy, I've done holler about lost my voice.
I'm Randy, I'm not Buddy.
Oh, well, Randy, Buddy, Randy. You need to talk a little bit too, Randy.
Hey.
South Trust Bank, folks at South Trust Bank. Op Auto Parts, Loan and Guard, Op Loan and Leisure.
Go Neil!
And Op Auto Parts. Jones Ford.
Go Brent!
Oh, Hubert Raymer, Brent Cook down at Jones Ford. You need to go see them. Ted's Pharmacy, old Ted Rockmore. Op McCullough's Mills. And Op Building and Supply, Robert Breelove. And Randy?
Mike, what do you think about it?
I done got so excited. We done got excited, man, ain't we?
Well, you reckon this gonna come back a good Monday night? Remember, the Monday night we're gonna have it on TV, right?
Right.
What time?
We got a good tape.
You sure?
Yeah, good tape. 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
What time?
7 o'clock.
Sometime?
7 o'clock, Randy.
Oh, we gotta do it 7 then, because what you said.
We got it at 7, and Tuesday night it'll be at 5:30.
All right, then. What we got to do then, we got to get them out now, hadn't we?
We're 3 up, 3 down.
3 up and 3 down. Sounds like a winner to me. All right.
I'm glad we got this on video because you can understand what happened. You can't understand here this afternoon, I'm sure, with a more pandemonium as such and we losing control is. We'll try to explain, but Monday night you can see it on TV what you did not understand today, possibly.
You know, buddy, we didn't even write down what happened last inning whenever
I'm not
they
sure I know.
they struck out. Whitten.
Yes, Ashley Davis needs 3 outs. The Bobcats need 3 outs some way, somehow. And the next batter for the Spartans will be David Black, who is the catcher.
And, buddy, we need 3 out too, don't we? Me and you.
Well, we need to win this ball game. 5-2 is the score. David Black steps in. He's walked and he's flied to the third baseman, and the first pitch to him is ball 1.
Ball inside, and you know this has got to be a tough inning now, because you just, we talked about earlier and off and all, just those strikes, sometimes hard to do that.
The complexion of their game changes entirely. They have got to get on base some way, and they will probably look and be more decisive at what they do hit rather than just swinging wildly. Ashley Davis, 2-0, delivers, and the pitch is a strike, call strike.
Strike 1.
Black.
Buddy, Pirates always easy to say just throw strikes, but we was talking about it the other day. In this kind of pressure, it's not the easiest thing in the world just to throw strikes.
Swung on. The ball is hit to the left side. It's going to the left fielder, Eric Cox. Cox picks it up, bobbles it, now throwing it to second base. And gets away from him and finally controlled by D. Jones, but a stand-up double by Dustin Black. What a way to start off here in the bottom of the 8th. They get their first man on with no outs.
Nobody hurt here now. We got to remember that. You get a little nervous here in a situation like this, but nobody hurt. That run on second base does not mean one thing in the world. Bobcats are up 5-2, so all we need to do is just gradually get 1 out at a time here and go on home.
First baseman David Landrum steps in. He's 0 for 3 so far this afternoon. Last time up, he struck out, and I'm sure here he'd like to redeem himself. Ashley Davis looks now back to second, now delivers, and is called ball inside to the left-handed batter.
1 ball, no strikes. We're here in the 8th inning. It's the bottom half of the 8th inning.
The outfield pretty much played him straight away for a left-handed batter, but nothing like they do for Elrod when he comes up to bat. Elrod, they do a total shift on him. And now they're holding play momentarily for something out in the outfield.
Some politicians out there waving signs, and they're making a move.
And the look called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Landrum, the first baseman, a big guy. He's about 6'2".
3-run lead now.
Ashley Davis looking directly into the sun. He delivers. It is called strike 2.
Yeah.
That must have been a trick pitch or something. First baseman actually got out of the way. I mean, Landrum actually moved back, and the umpire called strike 2.
And the coach from third base, I'm running down hollering again at the umpire, and it's getting a little excited here.
High ball outside. Count 2-2 with no outs. A runner on second here in the bottom of the 8th, and this is the one the Bobcats have got to have in order to win the first game.
And remember, we'll be back for the second game now.
Swung on. Bouncer down foul to the first base side.
That's just one thing I want to tell you now right there. We hadn't even mentioned that. But there will be another game right after this one. 30 minutes after this one, we'll be right back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama for the second game in the state playoff. So just take your little break after this one and come right back.
I'm not sure, Randy, if we can do that. If our voice will hold up. Swung on. Strike 3.
KO.
Another K for the first out for David Landrum.
Buddy Fire, and I tell you one thing, Mike Russell's even walking around here nervous. He looks nervous. What's wrong, Mike? You nervous a little bit, bud? We got
next batter stepping in will be the DH, Ken Forstrom. Forstrom bats from the right side. And the first pitch to him is called strike 1.
Strike 1. I've been standing on that, Mike.
0 for 3 today so far. He's stepping in for his 4th time against Ashley Davis. Last time up, he flied out. Swung on, strike 2. Ashley Davis has done a great job today. With 6 strikeouts so far, we got an 0-2 count on Ken Forstrom. Davis looks to second, now back to home, and he hits the batter. What happened there was the curveball just didn't break, and he just simply stayed there and let it hit him.
Oh,
Worst thing he could do with 2 strikes on the batter is to let him get away. All right, we got runners on first and second. And this brings off the leadoff batter, Scott Shevers. I've murdered that name today. We call it Shivers at home.
Believe it's Shivers.
Shivers.
Scott Shivers.
And you know, we got Shivers here in the bottom of the 8th.
I mean, we have men on first and second, and I tell you, oh my goodness, Walter L. Pyron, she is something else. It is excitement here at Pleasant Grove.
We do have a pinch runner for the runner on first. Adam Graham goes in to run for Ken Forstrom. So we have runners on second and first.
First and second, 1 out.
Going on between Judge Chanel and Ashley Davis. I'm sure Judge trying to settle Ashley down, but I hate to mention this, but you know, a long ball here would tie this thing up.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Is umpire's taking their time, and everybody's taking their time up here. I know you wonder where the batter's coming up, but umpire's going over to talk to both coaches, and he's back out here. And I just think it's really just from pinch runners and all, but there's a lot of excitement out here now. And sports fans, it's been a great one.
And the first pitch gets away from Judge Chanel. The runners move up from third and to second. It hit off a Judge left shin guard and got away from Judd. The runners move up. Something happened that Coach Grimes wants to talk about it. There's timeout on the field.
Ronald Corder just brought us a Coca-Cola here, and I tell you what, my throat is so dry. Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate that. We're here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and sports fans, the Bobcats, along with us, just as nervous as we be, Mike Russell.
Randy, I just called off Alabama, and they say it's good on TV and everything's coming in great. And We just need to put this one away.
We're going to put it away, Mike Russell, right here. We don't need to worry about those runners on second, third. They don't mean a thing in the world. All we need to do is get the next 2 batters out, and we'll be home free. We just need 2 more out here in Pleasant Grove, Alabama.
Randy, you say they don't mean a thing in the world. They're making me nervous.
Well, they may be making you nervous, but I didn't want to say that because I'm shaking a little bit myself. But what I'm trying to say is those 2 runs there won't kill us.
All right. Shivers steps in.
And you're shivering.
The first pitch to him was a ball, and the next pitch, a ball. So 2 balls, no strikes to Scott Shivers. We have Dustin Black on third. Graham on second. The next pitch is a ball. 3-0 is the count. Now things are tightening up, and look who comes up after Scott Shivers. Atchison, Carnes, Elrod. Next pitch, and he walks down to first base. The bases are loaded.
We're here.
Of the 8th, 1 out. We need a double play, just like they did earlier.
At Pleasant Grove, Alabama, state finals. It's the first game of the state finals. It's 5-2 in favor of the Bobcats. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, extra innings, but the bases are loaded for Pleasant Grove.
Second baseman Brian Atchison steps in. First pitch to him is called strike 1. He's 0 for. Pardon me. He's 1 for 4 today. Brian Atchison looks at the first strike, 0-1. Now Ashley Davis, long time looking at the catcher. Pauses, looks to third, now back, swung on, hit sharply to the shortstop. It gets through. 1 run scores, 2 run scores, and the ball thrown back into the infield. Atchison delivers a hit through the middle. Cam Pierce could not come up with it, diving for it near second. Runners are on second and first, and the score is 5-4. As we mentioned, Randy, those 2 runs don't mean anything, but it sure makes me nervous, in which 2 runs scored that time with a hit up the middle.
Now
the tying run is at second.
Now that means
the winning
something.
run is at first.
They mean something
and
now.
Coach Johnny Grimes is going to call things to change here. He's bringing in Eric Cox from left field to change up some pitching. Ashley Davis has done a tremendous job today, and that time, if that had been to hit maybe 4 or 5 feet to the left, Cam Pierce came up with it, we would have had a double play. However, it was hit through the middle and picked up by Neil Presley in center field and threw it back in, but not before 2 runs had scored.
All right, Buddy Pyron, we're back here now in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the Bobcats came up with 3 big runs in the top half of the 8th inning, and Pleasant Grove has come up with 2 big runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and what a baseball game. Bobcats need 2 more outs to win this first game, and it's going to be a thriller right down to the end. Eric Cox on the mound. He's replacing Ashley Davis. Ashley Davis will go to first base, and going to right field will be D. Jones, and going over to left field will be Chris Gohagen, and center field Neil Presley. So that's a little bit of moving around we had here, and Eric Cox is being called on now to shut down this rally here by Pleasant Grove, and the stands on the other side now have come to life, and the Bobcats fans had come to life earlier, but so many people are walking around. We got Cottonmouth. You talk about ball game. This has been some kind of ball game. Everybody is just as nervous as they can be. Nervousness here at Pleasant Grove.
All right, the senior Eric Cox came in last week against T.R. Miller and did a great job and went, I think, 5 innings and did a great job for the Bobcats. This time he only needs 2 outs to do a great job. 5-4. Certainly you can't be comfortable against the Pleasant Grove team. They have runners on base, and an out here anywhere would help, but a double play certainly would be tremendous.
I'll take 2 little pop-ups on the infield right now and get this thing over with.
All right, the next batter, Shane Carnes, will be stepping in. He has walked twice. He struck out once, and he's fly to the left field. And this time the Bobcats will play him straight away in center, playing the line in right, and pretty much straight away in left. He's a left-handed batter. D. Jones moves to right field. Ashley Davis goes to first base defensively for the Bobcats. Ashley Davis first pitch, Eric Cox first pitch is low, ball 1. I remind you, the next batter will be Andy Elrod if Carnes should get on first base. Next pitch, ball 2, outside.
2 balls, no strikes here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners on first and second. Big pitch coming in here for the Bobcats right now. Strike 1. I tell you one thing, that was right down their knees. Good call there. Good pitch by Eric Cox. Eric Cox on the mound for the Bobcats, and batting for Pleasant Grove is Carnes. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cox brings it in there. It's a base hit ball to right field. Base hit. D comes up with the ball. He's bringing it home. It's all tied up. Got a run down between first and second. And now they're going home with it. Bobcats going home. He's out at home. Good play by the Bobcats. Great play. Now let's tell you what happened on that, sports fans. Dadgummit, this ball game's all tied up. But what happened there, we had a base hit in the right field, scored the runner, that tied the ball game up, and then the runner on first base decided to get a run down between first and second. Bobcats had a run down between first and second. And then the runner on third decided to go home. And then Brent Hall made a good play into Judge Chanel home, tag him out. And now then Pleasant Grove just has a runner on first base, but the ball game is all tied up 5-5.
Randy, the key to that whole rundown was the man on first base made a break to second base. Judge Chanel threw the ball back and forth to the first and second baseman, and I was afraid Brent Hall would not see the runner from third breaking home. He did, and when he did, he threw a strike to Judge Chanel. The first pitch to Elrod. Strike 1. A delayed strike, I might say, and the fact that the umpire's taking forever to call it. Extra innings. Bouncing ball into the dirt. Judge Chanel tried to fake as though it got by him.
What a baseball game, sports fan. Bobcats score 3 in the top of the 8th, and Pleasant Grove comes back with 3 in their half of the 8th inning.
I hate to say it, we cannot do justice to this game. I'm sorry you're not here. Eric Cox, the pitcher. It does this time get away from Judge Chanel between his feet, but he controls it. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I tell you one thing, if you have not come and watched a baseball game, this has been one of the best one I've ever seen. Eric Cox on the mound. He takes his stretch. He's ready. He fires towards the plate. There's a long ball to center field. Neil Preston's going back after it. Neil's on the run, and it bounces over the fence. It bounced over the fence to save the Bobcats. Save the Bobcats. That's 2 bases. They give him a home run. That's a double, I think. That's just a double. That bounced over the fence. I don't want the referee to call it. It bounced over the fence. It should be on second, third. It bounced over the fence. It should be a double. It's definitely not a home run. So that's one of them. Pleasant Grove had already come over and congratulated everybody. And I thought the umpire first was walking home, Buddy Pyron. I thought he thought it was a home run, but it was clear out here that it bounced over the fence and for a ground rule double. And if it had not have bounced over the fence, ball game would have been over with because we could not have gotten to it. But it definitely bounced over the fence for a ground rule double. The runners now will be on second and third with 2 out.
That was a tremendous hit by the guy we always have been saying could hit the baseball. He hit it 385 feet. 390 over the fence, 385 bouncing over the fence that time for a ground rule double. And that brings the runner that was on first, which was Carnes, back to third. And a devastating play and hit by Andy Elrod. And now, this being the bottom half of the inning, the ball game all tied up. The Bobcats walk Richie Robinson, and that's going to bring up Brandon Whiten, the shortstop. And he has an opportunity. Eric Cox faced with bases loaded with 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. State championship game on hand.
What a ball game. What a ball game.
Nowhere to put him, ball 1.
What a ball game. Cannot say enough about this ball game. You people backing up. Tell you what, my old neighbor over there's cutting my yard now. He may not be listening to it old right there, but he has missed a fine ball game.
Yeah.
Next pitch right down there.
Yeah, you got it, Eric.
Eric Cox on the mound.
Got it.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike, and we have a lot of people here from Oppe all around us. And I tell you what, we have seen some kind of ball game. People so nervous, they walk around with their heads down, twisting their fingers. You talk about nervous people from Oppe, Alabama, they are nervous.
Well, actually, we could bring the infield in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because 1 hit as deep as we're playing, then I don't think they would score. I mean, I think they would score. 2 strikes on the batter. There's 2 outs.
2 outs, and all we need is 1 more
I
out.
apologize. I lost control of where I was. I'm not sure we all are. It's an exciting ball game. The pressure definitely is here as far as the state championship, and I don't care where they play them today. They won't be any better than this one.
This is exciting. Nowhere in the state will it be a better ball game, I guarantee you. Nowhere in the state.
You got it, Eric.
1 more strike, Eric Cox.
Yeah.
Pleasant Grove definitely out of the dugout across the way. The umpire must not have noticed it because he rushed them back earlier. Now we're looking at 2 balls, 2 strikes. I remind you again, there's nowhere to put him. We can't, he's got to throw it down the middle rather than throw a ball.
Strike 3. We got a breather. All right, we hoping to get out of that with Buddy Pine, but we got out of it anyway. They did not score there. Still
Eric
tied up.
Cox comes off the field with a big sigh of relief, and he blew hard. That second win, hopefully. It's 5-5. We're going to the ninth. We'll be back in a moment.
And we're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Sports fans, I tell you what, I've been to a lot of ball games in my lifetime, and I have seen one today just as good as you want to see. Both teams, neither team want to say I quit. It looked like Opp was probably put out of it in the top of the 7th inning, 1 run down, came up with a big hit, the double, and got the run in to tie it up to go into extra innings, and the Bobcat comes up with 3 big runs. So you think they're going to win the ball game? Pleasant Grove says, no, we don't quit. They came right back, and I tell you what, all you people that stayed in Opp, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, because I tell you one thing, we have seen a beautiful game. I know some of you had to work, but if it's a split today and we have to go into tomorrow, you can get up here tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, and we'll be having another ball game tomorrow. And if not, you can watch us or listen to us right here on TV6.
D. Jones, first batter, stepping in for the Bobcats, and the first ball to him is a ball 1. It was low.
Betty Fire in the stand on both sides. Fans are going wild. They're hollering on every pitch. They're hollering at the umpire. One stand hollering at the umpires, the other one are clapping for them.
Swung on. Strike 2 as he fouls it back into the fence. One ball, 1 strike. Richie Robinson, who's gone all 8 innings, now the 9th, looks to the catcher. And he fires a strike down the middle.
You know, buddy, I keep saying I'm kind of impressed about how strong they're getting here at the end of the ball game. But, you know, in college and major league, they pitch 9 innings, and they're still strong at the end. So this pitcher's definitely college material.
This time of the season, the arm certainly is in shape. Swung on, strike 3, a big swinging curveball as he missed it entirely. Out 1 here in the top of the 9th. We need to get something happening as Cam Pierce, who's been instrumental in our scores today, comes to the plate.
Yep, Bobcat from Opp, Alabama against a Pleasant Grove Spartan from way up here towards Birmingham, Alabama. All tied up 5-5 in the 9th inning.
First pitch to him is ball 1 in the dirt.
He threw that one hard. He reared back through it. No control at all. It went sailing back to the backstop. This ball game will be played back Monday night at 7 o'clock, so be tuned and watch us on TV6. We may not get back by that time, though. Well, this thing's going. It's already 20 minutes of 7 o'clock here, and we got another one to go tonight. It may be midnight before we get through, so go get you some supper after this game and sit back and listen to the ball game tonight.
Randy, I got drill tomorrow. Next pitch.
You
It's
may
low.
be tired at drill tomorrow, I can tell you that. Can you be replaced? Can you have a substitute for drill?
I don't know. We may try it.
All right, you better call in sick. Have you ever been sick? You better call in sick.
The next pitch. Swung on. It's coming down to the first base side. It's foul.
But did you see me try to catch that one? I reached out and
You
tried to.
knew that ball was not hit like you could not catch it.
Oh, okay. I give it a good effort, though. I
Two
reached over.
balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. And the batter, Cam Pierce.
Tell you what we may have to do. I see Mike Russell coming back over here. He may have to go out and get some more sponsors for this playback because the airtime is going to be long and hard.
I tell you what, if that little bit y'all were getting paid is gone.
There's a line
Oh,
shot.
hit to the left side. It is fair. Cam Pierce takes his turn, going to second. He's going to be standing up at second base, and the ball gets away from the shortstop, controlled by the second baseman. What a way, a senior, to play his final games as an Bobcat. He has really done a good job on the bases and hitting the baseball today.
Buddy Pine tonight, Cam Pierce had 2 hits, been hit by the pitcher twice, and got on an error on third base. He's been on every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he's been on the base tonight.
I've been over talking to the bus driver. He won't know this second game about over. He just woke up. I said, this is just the first game. We're going to be here about midnight.
Well, what did he say?
He said, you got to be kidding.
Next batter, Brent Hall. He steps in, takes a swinging strike. Cam Pierce takes the lead off second. Brent Hall got a big hit in the last inning, and he's in there again. Well, actually, he got a sacrifice the last inning that moved the runner up. And that time we were behind by 1 run. Right now, we're looking at 2 strikes on the batter. 0-2. Here comes Richie Robinson looking at the catcher. Brent Hall steps back in. Cam Pierce takes the lead, and the ball goes into the dirt. Pierce does not run.
Tell you one thing.
Byron, how long can the starting pitcher pitch? 9 innings, or can he keep going? 10? 10, okay.
10 innings in a ball game. Robinson delivers, and the ball is outside, fastball. And you know, he's been throwing in this series a lot of fastballs, Randy.
Tell you one thing, I'd like to have a gun, see how fast he really is throwing. Why didn't we bring one with us, Russell?
I got a gun.
I'm talking about a gun that you take the speed of the baseball with.
Excuse me, Randy.
All right, batter's back in. Robinson swung on. It's hit into the middle. It's a base hit. That's going to score. Cam Pierce from center field. The ball is thrown in. Pierce goes across home plate, standing up. Another base hit by Brent Hall this time.
Sports
Up
fans.
the middle.
Sports fans, what a ball game. Bobcats go up
6-5.
again.
Bobcats up. And there's 1 out here in the
One more time.
in the bottom, in the top of the 9th.
We got no idea where we're at. Well, I just
And
know
Coach
where the
Johnny Grimes wants to talk to Coach Vernon McBride. We may have a change in the lineup here momentarily. Nope. He's going to talk about what he wants to do.
we got
Hagen is going to come back, and he's going to be substituted by someone else at the bat.
Their pitcher just motioned to their coach that he needed to warm somebody up, that he's back run out of gas.
I'm going to tell you, he may be run out of gas, but I'll tell you this. He has been throwing the heat here of late.
He is an outstanding pitcher.
That may be showing signs of tiring because throwing the curveball certainly would hurt his arm more.
I tell you one thing, Buddy Pine, he's no tighter than I am. I am tired. Are you tired?
Only my voice. Only my voice.
I tell you one thing, it looks like it's been a great one, and it feels like it's been a great one.
I just went down to South Trust Bank, see if that float along. Maybe it's our time.
We're going to have to have some time. Okay, we got Brian Falk coming to bat for Crisco Hagen.
Don't you know this is pressure for Brian Falk? Has not been in the ball game and on the field, only throwing the balls out. He steps in with a runner on base, and let's see. He may be a good bunter. Brian squares to bunt. Does a good job, but fouls it off. That was the reason he brought him in, is to move the runner up with a bunt, but he fouled it off. So Robinson came charging from the mound, but the ball got by the catcher as well. And to no avail. That's just a strike is all it is.
Have we eaten supper yet?
Negative on the supper so far.
All right.
A long time since 12
All right.
o'clock.
She's getting late for old supper time.
Again, he squares. And again,
Good
it's a bunt. This time, Robinson looks. He goes to first base. He's out at first, but a great job by Brian Falk in moving the runner. Brent Hall up to second, but it makes 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning.
But I tell you one thing, Brian Falk did exactly what he was ordered. He said, when you know somebody go in the ball game and do what they're supposed to do, and that's exactly what Brian Falk, his job was one job, Buddy Pine, was to move the runner from first to second. Let's try to get another run in, and he did his job exactly.
I'm going to tell you, Coach Johnny Grimes has done a great job of coaching here in this game so far. And I'm not being arrogant in saying that, in the fact that he has moved the runners the way that baseball is supposed to move the runners. He's run them as much as possible, even though some been thrown out, challenged the catchers, and he's turned them on third base. Now, Neil Presley steps up for the first time to get the bat, and the first pitch is called ball 1.
Well, Neil Presley finally getting his swing. They have walked him all day long, and Neil Presley got a hit first time and 3 walks after that.
It certainly would have been nice if he could deliver here. The senior, the center fielder, steps in looking at ball 1. Next pitch, swung on through the middle. And here comes Brett Hall. The ball is going to go to the fence. Presley goes to second, all the way to third. He's going to third, standing up. And it's going to slide in the third. He drives in a run for the first time, and no wonder they didn't let him hit.
I see now. And the coach over there, I guarantee you, the coach on that side saying, they told me not to let him hit. They told me not to let him hit. And I went crazy and let him hit.
The ball was hit sharply over the second baseman's head. It rolled to the power alley in right center at about 385, and both the left and center and right fielder had to chase it down, and that enabled Neil Presley go all the way to third base and go in there safely. And next is Judd Chanel.
And Buddy Pine, we can't say enough about Judd Chanel now. I tell you when, I know he didn't have a first good 2 or 3 bats, but when we had to have it, Judd Chanel came through with the biggest hit of his career and one of the biggest hits for the Bobcats of the year.
Not only that, he's done well defensively. Swinging, strike 2. There's 2 outs, but the Bobcats are up 7-5. We come charging back. Judd Chanel takes a stroll off of the batter's box down the third base line, looking at Coach Grimes. Now steps back in with 2 strikes. Shortens his bat. Swung on. It's up the middle, over to the shortstop. Shortstop to first base for out number 3. And he retires the side, but not before the Bobcats come back and make it 7-5. Hang on, fans. This is a humdinger.
All right, let's take time out. We'll be right back. I tell you one thing. Last inning now, we were 3 runs up, and they came back with 3 to tie it. This inning is a bottom of the 9th inning at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. The Bobcats lead 7-5. What a baseball game, sports fans. Bobcats again now. 3 outs from winning the first game in the state finals. State finals, I'm telling y'all now. The state finals here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and this is some kind of excitement. I tell you what, if you did not come tonight and we was to split, we going to win 2 in a row, though, but if we was to split and you don't come up here tomorrow, you need to be doing something very important.
Okay, time's back in. Judge Chanel leaves the pitching mound, going back behind home plate. And the first batter to be stepping in for the Spartans from Pleasant Grove, Alabama, will be Dustin Black, who's done a job at catching today.
Tell you what.
5. And remember this, he's the guy that started things off last inning. First pitch to him is called strike 1.
As you can hear behind us, we have many fans here all around us now. Boy, they are excited.
A lot of them are walking behind us. They are so nervous. Some of the mothers. First, next pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Poor old Sally Grimes walked back there. She had walked a mile and a half her head, and she's going to be sick. She won't even watch a game. She got her hands under her face. She is a worried young lady. She's not even enjoying this game, is she, buddy?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, call it to us, Ump.
Pitch is ball low.
You got it, buddy.
All right, 2 balls, 1 strike. And the catcher, Dustin Black.
And you see the pairs behind there.
Swung on. It's a high fly ball going deep, deep, deep to the left side, and it's going to be out of here. Dustin Black hits it 320 feet high over the fence.
Oh, my goodness. Every time we get a breather now, I'll tell you one thing we said before, they don't die. Pleasant Home does not die, and they coming back here again with a home run, and he knocked it a country mile.
And I remind you, there's no outs in the bottom of the ninth. It's 7-6 Bobcats. Next batter will be David Landrum, and he has struck out the last 2 times.
Buddy Power, it's a shame. It's a pretty shame that one team had to lose this one because neither team wants to lose. Neither team will say die. Both teams fighting hard as they can.
Let's go, let's go.
Who knows what the series will be as the lights come on here in Pleasant Grove,
You got
Alabama.
him, Eric. You got him, buddy. Come on, don't be out. Ready?
At the first delivery to Landrum is called ball, low and outside. He is a left-handed batter. D. Jones, the right fielder, guards the line deep and is shading his eyes. The next pitch is called ball.
You know what, buddy? Earlier in the day, we was worried about the sun and outfielder. Look at the outfielder now. All of them shading their eyes. The sun is going down right above the batter's head, and it is tough to see in the outfield now.
Anything on this right side especially. And there's 3 balls on David Landrum. Judge Chanel calls timeout. We need to talk to the pitcher, he says, and rightly so. Eric Cox, who did a tremendous job last week coming in against T.R. Miller and pitched 5 good innings, is now being pressured here, leading 7-6 in the bottom of the ninth.
Got him, Eric. Take your time, sir.
Cox delivers, is called strike 1.
Yeah.
3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike here in the bottom of the ninth. Bobcats lead 7-6. Nobody on base for Pleasant Grove. 3 balls and 1 strike on the batter.
Next pitch in the dirt as he comes down to first base, and that is the tying run. The next batter is Ken Forstrom. Forstrom walked the last time up himself.
Buddy Power and Coach Johnny Grimes calls timeout. He's walking out to the mound, and I tell you one thing, this has been as tough a game as I've ever seen to have to try to coach, have to try to call. It's so much excitement. It's like we said, I feel sorry for these parents and these coaches' wives. They're taking it so hard. You know, really, truly, Sally Grimson back here, good, great. She is all upset. Gary Hall has not stopped all day long. He's walking around here. I don't know how much he's seen of the game, and the other parents are just walking Gary Hall over in the other field over here behind us now. I tell you one thing, I've never seen anything like it. Is his excitement going on. You know, I'm having a good time here. I'm shaking too. My little leg, I sat down a while ago, looked at it. My leg was shaking a little bit. But, you know, this is what it's all about. You got to go and enjoy it.
Well, this is high school sports at its best, and you know, as you pointed out, Randy, and I really appreciate you saying that regardless of who loses this game, they shouldn't lose, because this has been one of those barn burners as such, and the fact that it comes down to, well, I'm not sure what it does come down to, but the one that gets the most luck, I guess, in the
No, you got him, Eric. You got
certain
him,
aspect. We have a pinch runner on base. Rodney Armstrong is running for for Landrum, who was walked to first base. So now Armstrong will be on first as the next batter,
You got him.
Ken Forstrom, the DH, will be stepping in against Eric Cox.
All right, we got no out here. No out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And if you just tuning in, boy, you have missed some kind of baseball game. The Bobcats trailed early, came back, tied it up, went ahead by 3. Pleasant Grove came back, tied it up, and now the Bobcats up by 1, 7-6. And let's get back to action.
Now excitement back. First pitch is called a ball inside to Ken Forstrom. Eric Cox from the stretch looks over to first.
He's gonna hit in the double.
Armstrong takes a good lead. Now delivers to home, and again is called ball, this time a little high. So Cox having problems finding the strike zone at the present time. It's fell behind 2-0 to Forstrom. Cox delivers. This time it's a strike.
Down there one time. Oh, we got a strike in there. That's what we need. We got 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the 9th inning here at Pleasant Grove. Bobcats lead 7-6. Pleasant Grove has got a runner on first base.
Really, I wish he'd throw over the first base. He gets a good lead here, a mighty good lead. It's 5 steps. And the bunt is high, and Judd trying to go forward knowing that he was going to bunt. It goes over his head back to the screen for a strike.
I tell you one thing, the runner at first base, we got to get him a big lead at first base, and I'm afraid he may be going here in a minute.
All right, 2 balls, 1 strike. Armstrong not showing any attempt to go, but has a big lead of 5 steps off first. And certainly, I think he might have a play on him if he came to first base. Any movement whatsoever, he comes hurrying back, however. So, the coach looking to the batter, Forstrom. Now Forstrom steps in. Swung on. A swinging strike 3 sets him down for out number 1.
All right.
A biggie. Now we need a double play. Cross your fingers, your toes, your elbows, or whatever.
If you're back there and not listening to the same thing, I know you are listening. If you're hearing me, just help us get 2 more outs here.
All right, Scott.
Shivers.
And we got Shivers. I got goosebumps. Shivers steps in. First pitch to him. He throws it outside, and it was intended to do so as a pitch out. They thought that Armstrong might be going that time. But Cox really is not holding him on as though I would think so with a game this close. Oh, that like to hit him. He backs out of there, but it like to hit him across the headgear.
You got him, 23.
So it's 2 balls, no strikes with 1 out. Bobcats leading 7-6. Spartans at bat with a man on first. Next pitch. It's called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Here, Cox throwing the ball hard now, buddy Pine. He's bringing it.
He needs to. If they can hit it out of here, well, I don't know. I want to say that. Because they prove they know how. The next ball's high. Across the numbers. Now we're looking at a 3-1 count.
3 balls, 1 strike.
They want to get the runner in scoring position from second base. And, of course, a walk would do that. So Armstrong takes a good lead again. This time it's swung on. It's to the left side. Count Pierce comes over, tags the base, throws it to first. Ashley Davis has to come off the bag, but he's out at second base. Davis saving the ball at first base on a wide throw by Cam Pierce. Cam did not trust the throw. He made the tag out at second itself.
Well, Buddy Pine, Cam was too close to the bag to really toss it over to Brent Hall. In time Cam got to the base, the runner did a tremendous job. The runner really took him out, and Cam had no play at first base.
But there's 2 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Coming to bat. It's Brian Atchison, the second baseman. Last time up, he was thrown out. First pitch. Ball low.
Bobcats 1 out.
Is on first as the runner. Eric Cox really not paying that much attention to him. Bobcats behind, leading 7-6. The next pitch. It's ball outside. Judge Chanel holds the ball there. Wanting to make sure the umpire saw the ball that good.
Bobcats 1 out from a state playoff victory here in the first game. 1 out.
2-0 count. Swung on. Nope. Ball 3. 3-0.
You got him, buddy.
I will make a point.
Ain't no big deal.
Atchison will be followed by Carnes. Carnes got him a triple last time.
All the way around. Come on, you got it, buddy.
Eric Cox looks to home.
Yeah.
Delivers. Strike.
Yeah, you got him, Eric.
Big pitch there.
3 balls, 1 strike. Bobcats need 1 out to win the first game in a state playoff.
Eric
Finals.
Cox. A lot of pressure coming in. He backs him out, and therefore he walks down to first base. So with a man on second, a man on first, the next batter will be Shane Carnes. Now, they want to just hit the baseball. We just want them to hit it to someone. On second base is Scott Shivers. On first base is Brian Atchison. And at the plate will be Shane Carnes. He's their right fielder, and he also bats left-handed. So we move and shift the outfield somewhat to the right side.
All right. Eric Cox on the mound. Bobcats needed one out here.
Runners off both bases. First pitch. Strike one. He started to swing but held up, and it was a good strike. Better to get ahead of the count than it is behind. We need a pop up to the infield. We need a strikeout. We need ground out. We need an out. Eric Cox, he delivers. Swung on. It's to the second baseman. Short over to first. Win! Bobcats win!
Bobcats win! Bobcats win!
Ball fielded the ball over to the first baseman, Ashley Davis, to end the ball game.
Bobcats win! Bobcats win!
6.
Hey!
6 in the ninth.
Bobcats win! Did y'all hear that? Bobcats win! Did you get all that? Bobcats win! Bobcat wins first game ever in a state championship game. Bobcats up. We are assured of a 3-game series.